In the mood for a great steak dinner.
You know I am.
This is my good friend Craig Hughes, owner of St. Elmo Steakhouse.
And this is my good friend Tony Ricci, owner of Tony's of Indianapolis.
You might think we'd be competitors.
But for us, nothing's more important than serving our community.
If you love downtown Indy like we do,
we need your support. And there's no better time to visit all of your favorite downtown businesses than right now.
If you can join us in person, we'd love to see you.
If not, pick up a delicious meal to enjoy at home.
Or treat someone to a gift card.
Support Tony's, St. Elmo, and all the downtown Indy businesses you know and love this holiday season. From gifts to gift cards, take out to dine in. Indy's downtown shops and restaurants are ready to serve you and be a bright spot during a tough year.
We're here for you.
And we want to keep it that way.
From your friends at St. Elmo.
And at Tony's.
Happy holidays.
He's in! Jonathan Taylor!
The Colts take one step closer to the postseason.
He fumbled the ball! Who's got the football? The Colts have it! It's a touchdown!
Up next, the AFC North leading Pittsburgh Steelers. They've lost 3 in a row.
They play like this, it's unacceptable.
Let's try to make it 4. Our coverage starts Sunday morning at 10. Matt Taylor with the call at 1 o'clock.
And he's in! Zach Pascal!
On your home for Colts football.
Touchdown!
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Penn Station is now on DoorDash. So now, when you start craving a grilled sub stuffed with meat, cheese, and veggies, you get a few extra moments to just sit there and daydream about it. Ah, meat.
Hey, sports bettors. PointsBet, the proud sportsbook partner of the Indianapolis Colts, has $10,000 NFL Game Day Guarantee, giving higher limits for all players.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
The Pacers host the Knicks in the regular season opener. Tomorrow evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
And again it's picked up. It's Darius Leonard. A pick 6 for the Maniac. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Was kept alive by Oldest Depot. And Sabonis with a left hand.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday. Thank you guys for joining us. We got a loaded up show. Zach Pascal, who 2 years ago joined me out at Grand Park. It was under the tent, and we had a conversation. He was kind of, I wouldn't say on the verge, but we were wondering if he was going to make the team. Wondering if he was going to make the team. And really, since that point in time, I mean, he has placed his flag in the proverbial ground as being a part of that team and its offense. 2 touchdowns this past Sunday. I mean, it's funny, that viral block, that chip, if you will, a couple of weeks ago, too, against the Raiders. But now, you know what? He has been very good for this team. And at the beginning, it was just kind of all about, well, he's a really good special teams player. But as it turns out, he's been really good for this team. Zach Pascal of the Colts will join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Cannot wait for that conversation. Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We can all try to figure out what in the world is going wrong with the Steelers. I know that breaks everybody's heart around here. I know everybody is absolutely heartbroken about what you witnessed last night if you watch Monday Night Football. However, I would tell you this. I would not get too far ahead of yourself. I tried to say that to Kyle because I think Kyle thinks the Steelers are over. And they do look absolutely done right now. But again, don't look too far ahead. Just wait and see if this Colts team can do something against the Steelers they haven't done since, what, 2008? Something like that. Should have done a year ago, but didn't. So I'd wait and see. But watching the Steelers, and you go all the way back to that game against the Ravens, and the Ravens basically had their JV out there. You know, they'd gone through COVID circumstances, lost a lot of players. And if you remember, the Steelers just kind of muddled through to win that, and then afterwards Mike Tomlin lit up his crew. You imagine after last night? Ben Roethlisberger, and maybe it is. If you look at their schedule, maybe it has something to do with the schedule. But they, as of right now, they look toasted. But I will just maintain, wait until you get past them to talk a little junk or to call your shot, because it hasn't worked with the Steelers if you're a Colts fan for a long time. So I don't know if I'd be calling it right now. Hopefully so, because part of the issue is, I mean, for everybody, everybody basically not named Kansas City. I mean, right now, if you're the Colts, second to all the way being out. There is no margin for error. I would like to think that the Colts could go into Pittsburgh and get a win. It's just been so damn long under completely different circumstances. I don't know if I'm going to completely buy it until I watch it and see it actually happening. I don't know if I'm going to buy it. Hopefully it does. Make everybody feel a lot better about what's going on for real. But I may have to wait a little bit to see. I don't know if I'd go dancing on any graves as of late. I know it makes you feel good, too. I don't blame you. Because I'm sure everybody's got a Steeler fan that they know, and you're probably laughing about that a little bit. Now, last night was pretty terrible. They look awful. I mean, even in the moments, and last night, you could also talk about, end of the game, they're getting down there, that final drive, and you had an interference that wasn't called versus Chase Claypool. But the team just has not looked anywhere near in the neighborhood as they did over a month ago. And this has been a prolonged slump. And now they're really fighting it. And now the Browns really think they can do something right now. But now they're really fighting it. But somebody has had a good season that's going to get left out of the AFC. And hopefully for Colts fans, they just keep on doing what they have been doing, and that is winning. All right, they get the Steelers coming up on Sunday. I believe that's Nance and Romo, right, in Pittsburgh. The Colts can clinch with a win and a Baltimore loss or tie, with a win and a Miami loss or tie, with a tie and a Baltimore loss, or a tie and a Miami loss. So, Colts fans, with a win, you'd be watching what's going on with the Ravens and with the Dolphins. But, man, if you look in the AFC, that is just kind of it's a mess. I mean, it's a mess with teams that have played really well, and somebody's going to play really well, feel really good, and end up getting left out. There's no mistaking it. Like, I got a tweet last night, and I completely agree right now. Sebastian tweeted me and said, hey, Rivers is playing better than Roethlisberger. Rivers is playing really well right now. I mean, everybody just kind of wonders, can this team continue to protect him as you hope they can? Or should? Or need to? But make no mistake about it, when he is protected, he has been really good. He has, at least for a prolonged period of time, gotten better, whereas Roethlisberger, man, he was missing some throws last night. Over the head, down the field. Kind of felt like you guys did a year ago. It was incredible to see where this thing is right now compared to where it was. So, listen, you have no argument here. Now, Rivers is playing better as of right now. And no mistaking that. I know a lot of you wanted to hear this as well. And listen, DeForest Buckner, I don't go too all in on the Pro Bowl stuff, but I think we all understand by watching it. Once again, this is us watching, right? This is us paying attention here. And if there is a singular reason as to why this defense is a lot better this year, as to why this team can lead on a defense, if there's a singular reason, singular player, it's DeForest Buckner. Now, I don't know what the hell Calais Campbell has done this year. I know he's missed some time with COVID. We also saw Buckner miss a game, and that wasn't good. And I had said this all along, and not just saying it because I'm in this market, but saying it because I truly believe it. If you're looking at the offseason acquisitions, free agency, trades, pickups, whatever, you can make an argument that one of the most important, one of the biggest, one of the best, certainly was that deal that the Colts made with Frisco to get DeForest Buckner in here. And the one reason why I truly understand it, maybe more so than anybody else, and why I continue to talk about it, is his teammates. His defensive teammates talk about it nonstop. They bring it up when they're not even asked. Like we had Kenny Moore on a couple of weeks ago. Kenny Moore brought it up without even talking about it. So that's one of the reasons why he has been a huge reason. I mean, you could talk about Rivers and at quarterback and, doing this and the offensive line. I mean, singularly, individually on this team, DeForest Buckner's right up there with others, with Costanzo, with Rivers, as being individually one of the, or maybe the most important asset. And certainly, as far as the offseason is concerned, bringing him in as big as any other deal, as big as any other signing. I mean, you give number 13 up for that and then pay the man and pay him handsomely, and he's kicked ass here. Now, he has helped this defense. He has helped transform this defense. One of the reasons why they played well, certainly one of the reasons why they're getting all the respect that they do deserve. So I'm not much for sitting here and going, oh, woe is me. I mean, we did that with IU yesterday, and I know everybody's kind of worn out on that right now. I mean, if you want to have a debatable beef, DeForest Buckner being left out is a debatable beef. Now, for them, I mean, for us, it's just like, well, it's your favorite team and a guy that's been left out and you're pissed. For them, it does end up costing them money. They have incentives in their contract that could get more money if they're Pro Bowl worthy. So that is a big deal for them. But these certainly are debatable points. We'll get into that with Sam Monson coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, too. Listen, I haven't watched Calais Campbell this season enough to know just how fantastic he has been when he has been able to play. But that has been the common theme, the common thread, the debatable point as to DeForest Buckner not making it. And I know that was a surprise to many when you learned about that yesterday, for sure. Surprising to a lot of folks. So we can hit that if you like at 239-1070. Email address is jmv at 1070thefan.com. On Twitter at jmv1070. Inside the Lounge on YouTube Live. Would love to see you guys go in there and get something going, a little conversation starter. That is always good. Sam Monson, we'll roll through a lot of these numbers. There are a lot of things that are sticking out to me right now. One would be, because if you remember, he was as anti as anybody we've had on this show outside of the world of Mike Lombardi, anti-Rivers. Remember how anti-Rivers Lombardi was, how anti-Rivers Sam Monson started out being? You're seeing a lot of people having a change of heart right now. We'll talk to Sam about that, about Rivers, about this team, what the hell has happened to the Steelers, And really that whole AFC where everything is jumbled up right now and a good team is going to absolutely be left out. See, Bob writes this, Buckner is number one, but Julian Blackmon is a huge difference too. He's what everybody wanted Hooker to be. I would buy that, but Buckner has, when he has been in there, has shown brightly. And there's a difference. I mean, Buckner came in as an already established player. I mean, Blackmon was hustling back from an injury last year, got back in time for that, looked really good at the beginning, has had a couple of scuffling games where he struggled tackling. Had some, I shouldn't say struggling tackling. That's not right. Had some moments, but he has been good. I think everybody is certainly happy about that selection, and everybody is happy about the way that he's played. But to me, Buckner is just at a different level altogether. I mean, what he is getting done up front, you know, and not even when he makes the play, but just the pressure that he puts on with his presence alone has been a big deal. So he has been as good as anybody. I talk about that all the time, too. Those off-season pickups, whether you're talking about trade or free agency or whatever, he is right there at the top of the list of the most important, say the least. We can discuss that if you like across the NFL. And I mentioned Sam Monson of Pro Football Focus going to join us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Man, I know Butler has missed a lot of time, missed a lot of practice, and is working from behind. But, woo, last night was not good. Not good at all. You got Iowa, Purdue coming up later on tonight. I mean, it's kind of tough, isn't it, to keep track? Because you have teams picking up other teams midweek within a couple of days. It's almost hard to keep track. You got so much going on. I don't know about anybody else. I didn't mention this yesterday. But go back until Saturday. Saturday, every stinking channel had something on. Anybody notice that? It was almost, and I hate to say this, it was almost too much. Anybody sitting around the house on Saturday and just going crazy flipping through stuff? I mean, you had everything on. Yeah, the Big Ten title game. And I'm talking about the same time. Basketball games, you had Gonzaga and Iowa. Maybe that doesn't matter to you too much, but if you're just flipping around the dial, I mean, that's something for somebody. It was incredible. It is one of the more incredible sports days, and we didn't go too deeply into it, but one of the more incredible sports days. I mean, you had NFL games on. Hell, you almost forgot about the NFL games because everything else was going on. Big Ten title game, SEC, the Big 12 fiasco. You almost forgot about the NFL being on. Well, you had Buffalo and Denver, had Green Bay and Carolina later on that evening. That is a hell of a day right there. It probably gets lost in the shuffle. And you have that, and then you have people trying to get ready for, whatever holiday situation you're going to be a part of. That was a hell of a Saturday for real. Andrew writes this: how much does the lack of nationally televised games affect the Pro Bowl stuff? Yeah, you're going to get seen. I'm kind of surprised. If like the Kenny Moore stuff didn't surprise me. I mean, that was going to be a heavy push. But because Buckner had an already established name, now it also comes down to being a D lineman in a world of many, where Aaron Donald gets a lot of love. I mean, the Calais Campbell thing surprises. There's no question. But he's already an established name. I mean, hell, everybody knew, even in San Francisco, he was really good. He has just come here and made a huge difference out of how this defense looks. I mean, really, from front to back. I'm not giving him all the credit, but certainly he deserves just his presence alone has meant a great deal. I mean, hell, you can tell when he was out of there, things were drastically different. So, I mean, I don't know about that. I would say no to that, Andrew, especially since he's already an established guy. That may be something, like, for example, did Jeremy Chin make it? Kid from Fishers, Carolina? I mean, that's somebody that hasn't been seen very much, but has made a buttload of plays. I mean, he has been, especially recently, in the past month, he has been making plays. But Carolina's not very good. Kind of lose sight of him a little bit. I mean, maybe that's more of a situation. He's not an already established player. I mean, Buckner at least is already established. I mean, you're talking about, bro, he's had a fantastic rookie season, though. Yeah, make no mistake about that.
Just to show you how crazy Pro Bowl voting can be, the Seahawks have a historically bad pass defense. 2 of their safeties made the Pro Bowl team, Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs.
Well, I don't know about Diggs, but Jamal Adams is legit.
Jamal Adams is legit.
Yeah.
But Diggs, I mean, how bad that defense has been this year.
Man, Jamal Adams, did he not make a play running about 19, 20 miles an hour earlier this week? Holy crap.
I think he set the record for sacks for a safety last week, too. I think he's got 9 sacks already this year.
He's been the best part of that defense, too. I mean, a defense, too. I mean, that comes with some legendary status in that secondary in Seattle with the Legion of Boom. I mean, when you had, Cam Chancellor in that group years ago, Jamal Adams has been pretty damn good. And, of course, coming from the Jets and that deal, he wanted out. Certainly he had the right idea. What are you thinking about if you're a Steeler fan right now? I mean, not only does this look like a fade, and again, I'm not going to call it just yet until I watch the game on Sunday. Because this has been a hill to climb for this organization, no matter the personnel, against the Steelers. So I'm not throwing dirt on that team, even though they look worthy of doing so last night and half of the past 3 weeks. Man, if you're a Steeler fan, you're probably going, where are you going to go from here? I mean, I'm sure you were wondering that long-term quarterback anyway. But it just, that looks like a mess. Especially against the Bengals last night. And the Bengals that offensive line got so much pressure off the end. Whether it was Hubbard or Lawson, so much pressure last night. And there are a couple of different times where Roethlisberger just absolutely flat missed guys. But again, I'm not going to call any easy shots going on. And I know Colts fans right now are saying, all right, 12-win season. I'm feeling good about a 12-win season. Got to get through it first because, again, it's been some tough competition no matter the personnel. Playing there is different, and you'd think now you'd have a little bit more. Absolutely. Now, in this case, you have a lot more of a team that's looking to catch a little bit of fire coming up this weekend. Hell, it was almost better if they'd have beaten Cincinnati last night. Yeah, we'll see, though. Man, look at that AFC. And again, Sam Monson of Pro Football Focus in the 4 o'clock hour. We're going to discuss that from top to bottom. I think conventional wisdom would believe that maybe the Dolphins might end up being left out of this season. But somebody with a good record is absolutely going to be left out. So we can hit that. Your calls at 239-1070. Your emails at jmv at 1070thefan.com. On Twitter at jmv1070. We'll do that and more. Zach Pascal of the Colts coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. A conversation that I promise you will enjoy. I mean, everybody around here talks it, and I'm assuming that's what you believe in. Hard work pays. All these coaching cliches we have to hear nonstop that I'm sure at some point probably drives you nuts and you want to tell somebody to shut up. But nonetheless, they're still there. This dude has worked it. And I thought that you go 2 years ago with our conversation until now. Man, of those 2 years meant a lot for him. He joins us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus, coming up at 4, and Greg Rakestraw set to join us coming up at the bottom of this hour. Little college basketball. Butler can't shoot it. Yeah, Purdue and Iowa coming up later on tonight. We haven't heard much talk regarding the NCAA tournament in a while here, have we? I would have to think that ends up. There's no way they're going to miss it. At what point do you think we get an announcement? Because that's going to have to be the place. I know a lot of people had asked me, well, what about San Antonio? San Antonio was the women's. That's what they're trying to do for the women, right? San Antonio? I mean, this is workable and doable. If you're going to be in a bubble, no matter what Krzyzewski says, this is the absolute place to do it.
You probably have to know sometime in January, right?
Yeah, and I mean, the NBA schedule basically for the Pacers goes all the way up until the start of the NCAA tournament. Assuming somebody down there knows right now a little bit. Somebody around here knows a lot more than what they're leading on. Just depends on who leaked it and how we can find out. That's one thing I'm leaning on, too. I think that'll be fun. Yeah, you guys asked me if I still watch a lot of Gonzaga. We do still watch a lot of Gonzaga basketball. This is, compared to everybody else, I mean, even better than that team that ended up going to the NCAA tournament final game, losing to Carolina. These guys are pretty good. These guys are stacked. I thought last year was really good, too, and they lost a crap ton from that team. Now, it's amazing. Now, we talked to Paul Westhead, who was the LMU coach, a couple of weeks ago. And one of the things that I noticed when I was looking back to the late 80s when he was the head coach of Loyola Marymount was what the WCC looked like. And Gonzaga was consistently awful. And now they're one of the college basketball programs. That's what's amazing about that. I mean, you talk about it all the time, especially now Tom Allen comes up. And it's different because, the WCC is not the Big Ten. But you're talking about a guy in Mark Few that everybody in the world, from UCLA to other spots, have tried to lure him from Spokane, Washington, to be at the head of a basketball program. And he's just kind of stiff-armed anybody that came at him and just continued to build that basketball program. It is amazing what they've accomplished. What is that going on? Dan Monson had that first-year run, I want to say in 99. I'll have to look that up, 99. They had guys like Casey Calvary and Richie Fromm went into the NCAA tournament. Looked good, got some notoriety. Monson got the gig in Minnesota. Few took over in Gonzaga, and Few continued that. And Monson didn't last too long in Minnesota. I think Monson's at Long Beach State now. But, if you're looking at basketball programs, year in and year out, I think everybody stopped making fun of them for being in that league. They're just year in and year out one of the top basketball programs around. This maybe should be it. That national championship. They're pretty damn good. That Suggs kid from Texas, that McDonald's All-American, is good. They have big dudes that wear headbands. You see Drew Timme rocking a headband. I think Kispert wears a headband too. But, yeah, they're pretty damn good. Yeah, I got to see them in Iowa. Man, Iowa got back into it. I think trimmed that down to 8. But most of the time, that lead for Gonzaga on Saturday, if you watched any of it, was in the neighborhood of 14, 15-point spread there. It is legit. I'd love to see it all being legit and unfold right before our eyes here in Indy. That's what we're hoping. All right, quick break, and we'll return. Greg Rakestraw is going to join us coming up on the other side. A little college hoop, a little college football, some high school stuff, all that and more. The saga of Dwayne Haskins. You can probably say you're sorry all you want. I don't know who's going to be listening to it. That and more coming up on a Tuesday, 93.5, 107.5, 1070 The Fan.
He's in. Jonathan Taylor.
The Colts take one step closer to the postseason.
He fumbled the ball. Who's got the football? The Colts have it. It's a touchdown.
Up next, the AFC North leading Pittsburgh Steelers. They've lost 3 in a row.
A fight like this, it's unacceptable.
Let's try to make it 4. Our coverage starts Sunday morning at 10. Matt Taylor with the call at 1 o'clock.
And he's in. Zach Pascal.
On your home for Colts football.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
It feels like yesterday that Los Angeles was lifting basketball's most coveted prize, and DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is here to kick off the 2021 basketball season with a no-brainer for all customers new and existing. To celebrate the return of basketball, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you a plus 75-point spread on the team of your choice on opening night. That's right. All you have to do is bet on any opening night game, and if your team doesn't lose by more than 75 points, you will double your money. This Saturday, there will be an endless amount of action to get in on. Don't wait. Head to the app now. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code WFNI when you sign up to get a plus 75-point spread on opening night for a shot to double your money. That's code WFNI for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Got to be 21 or older. Indiana only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? 800-9-WITH-IT.
Merry Christmas, everyone. This is Dave Majing with B&W Plumbing and Heating. We all know Santa doesn't fix furnaces, but B&W Plumbing and Heating does. We're here to be sure you have a warm and enjoyable Christmas. Check us out at bigblacktrucks.com or call us at 317-243-3581. That's 317-243-3581. And from our family to yours, Merry Christmas, everyone. And remember the reason for the season.
B&W is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
This is Jerome Bettis, and I want to introduce you to my friends at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Bet Rivers is the #1 sportsbook across the way in Illinois and the trusted partner of French Lick Casino here in Indiana. Bet Rivers truly cares about your satisfaction and works hard to deliver a sports betting experience second to none. Make your next bet with the trusted team at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Go to betrivers.com and bet with the winner.
Must be 21 or over to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448. Playable only in Indiana.
It's the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
He fumbled the ball. The Colts have it.
If you're the Indianapolis Colts, that's how you beat the Houston Texans. Near the last play of the game with a big defensive stop.
The Texans gave 2 games away to the Colts.
Listening to Philip Rivers and Frank Reich talk about afterwards, I don't think they've ever seen 2 finishes like we've seen in the last 3 weeks.
I just feel comfortable that we're going to find a way.
The Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper. Make it fast. I'm in a damn hurry.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus, top of the 4. Zach Pascal, wide receiver for the Colts, will join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, Greg Rakestraw joins us from a variety of different angles. We will discuss things. How close do you think we are to some sort of announcement with the NCAA tournament being in a bubble in this particular area? Do you think we're in that neighborhood of being close to announcing that?
Oh, I think we will be. Maybe you wait till after the Christmas holiday to make that announcement, but I think it's pretty evident that it's going to be at one site, and because the Final Four was scheduled to be here, because the national office is here, because of our ability to host things here, I think there's little doubt it will be here. Maybe it's just a matter of getting exactly what locations are going to be used for gameplay. And again, I do think there is I think they will wait to hold off and announce on venues, because if there's any way they can get even a limited number of fans in venues, they will absolutely take advantage of that. But trying to avoid the travel aspect of things, I think all those games are being played here.
Yeah, it's the fan thing is interesting because it is it's still tough to see. I mean, even that far down the road, Greg.
Correct. I think that's why they will wait on fans and venues until the last possible minute. And I'm not saying they're going to have like 15,000 fans. No, I don't think there's any scenario where that would be the case. But, let's be honest about this. If they feel they can do it safely, the revenue that is generated from the NCAA tournament pays for basically every other championship that takes place in the NCAA. The television contract funds 89 other sports at 3 different divisions. So if they feel they can safely bring in fans, I guarantee you they'll do it.
It's Greg Rakestraw on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. A little more college discussion, too. It was a long time between practices and certainly games for Butler. Did you expect them to struggle as much as we have seen upon their return?
Yes, because they're just simply not that good this year. They were going to have a rough season to begin with. Southern Illinois came in at 5-0 on the year. Butler does not have Aaron Thompson. They've been missing key pieces throughout the year. That is now their 3rd game in a span of 6 days after having not played for basically 3 weeks. So, no, I'm not surprised at all that Butler is having issues like this. I'm a little surprised that Butler played that game on Monday, knowing that they're going to play their conference game coming up on Wednesday. So I'm kind of surprised they put themselves in that kind of scheduling predicament in terms of playing last night. Ended up ending their, home non-conference winning streak. But at the end of the day, it's not going to affect the overall result this year, and that it's not going to be a great year for the Bulldogs, as simple as that.
Boilermakers, Iowa coming up later on tonight. What's your thoughts on that matchup?
Iowa's a really good team. But I think the Big Ten, Purdue and Indiana are capable of hanging with anybody in the Big Ten on terms of a given game. And because of Purdue's size, although obviously Iowa's got Garza, Iowa can throw 9, 10, 11 players in terms of their rotation. They can maybe handle size better than most teams in the Big Ten can. I think it will be a great matchup. I think there is little that separates the upper half of the Big Ten this year, but I think Iowa is as good as any team in the conference.
Yeah, did you get a chance to watch any of the Gonzaga-Iowa game?
I did not. I just know I know that Suggs, no matter what gym he's in, is knocking them down these days for Gonzaga.
Yeah, they're playing at the Pentagon there in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Then I know that you got a little bit of history there.
Correct. So the Pentagon is a newer venue.
Yeah.
So I was in the old arena, which was where that Summit League tournament was first held. Now they hold that in the new arena. The Pentagon is kind of the secondary venue. And for the last few years, it was the home of the NAIA Division II men's basketball tournament, a tournament that no longer exists, as the NAIA now is going back to just having one division. But that Pentagon is a really cool building, and that place is sponsored by a company called Sanford Health. And basically in Dakota, or in South Dakota, there are like 3 companies that own everything, and Denny Sanford is one of those. So it's not surprising he has like his own like secondary specialty gym where they'll play college basketball games.
What are your thoughts on what you've seen from Purdue so far, and then also factor in IU too as they get set for Big Ten play? What you've seen from Archie Miller's Hoosiers to this point?
For Archie Miller's team, it's not been always pretty, but other than one game, it's for the most part been effective. Again, it's been kind of slow progress for Archie down in Bloomington. It will never be as fast as some fans want it to be, or as perfect as some fans want it to be. But I do think they are a better basketball team. And again, if I rattled off the top 3 teams in the Big Ten right now, I'm not sure IU's in it, but I also don't think that they're that far away. Again, I think it is a year where the Big Ten is really good, and I'm very curious to see over the next few weeks, because I'm not sure there is a league that being at home has been more of an advantage than it has been in the Big Ten. And now you wipe away the fans out of that to see exactly what home court advantage is going to look like going forward in the Big Ten. We have no idea how that is going to play out. So,
hold on. I tell you what, just you pop back in, but we spent about 15 seconds without you right there a little bit.
I apologize.
That's okay. So don't move. Whatever you're doing, don't move, or don't do what you did in the first 15 minutes of your answer. The last 5, fantastic. That's great work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's Greg Rakestraw, the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Mike New, how much love you think he's going to end up getting for the job that he has done at Ball State? The MAC winner and doing what they've done, going to the Arizona Bowl?
He should get a lot of love. I'm not sure if he is going to get a lot of attention outside of, I guess, in college football circles because of his lack of college experience other than at his alma mater. So he should get a great amount of attention. He should get a great amount of respect. And obviously he is beloved in Ball State circles for delivering them a MAC championship for the first time in 24 years. And it's interesting. I'm curious if there is a next move for Mike, and I'm sure there will be at some point, whether that move is to another college football job or if he feels more of a pull of going back to the National Football League. Because obviously that was his background. When the alma mater called, then was like, okay, I'll go take this. I'll take the job in Muncie, and I'll see what happens. So because he doesn't have any other background in college football really before this job, I'm curious to whether he gets looks from other schools or whether his next phone call is from the NFL in terms of being a quarterback's coach or being an offensive coordinator with an idea that now that he's got this head coaching experience, it's not crazy to think he could be an NFL coach a couple of moves from now. So, again, I'm sure the answer would be, hey, he hopes to stay at Ball State. They want to keep him as long as possible. But because of his unique background, he might have some unique opportunities going forward.
You mentioned the length of time since they've, fallen upon this, won their way into this particular position. How impressive of a job has that been that he has done at Ball State to get to this point so far in his career there?
It's very impressive, but I also love the fact they gave him some time. When Mike got extended, I kind of said this with Archie Miller. I hope you heard that part of the answer. That it's been slow progress, maybe not as fast as fans would want. Well, in Muncie, because the expectations, have been slightly tempered, Mike got a contract extension before really kind of winning big. That happened this year, and again, we're talking about a smaller sample size, but being 6-1 in the 7 league games in which they played, and so again, he was given an opportunity to truly rebuild and try to grow that program again after a period of struggle. So it was nice to see that belief by the university administration and the athletic director in him has paid off so handsomely for everybody involved.
So Greg Rakestraw on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. The snub that Tom Allen and the Hoosier football team ultimately received, does that give any thought to Tom Allen further down the road if a bigger, certainly football type of college, and I know that's what he's trying to build and he's in the process of building an IU, but if somebody else different, obviously, that one of those brand names in the college football world came calling, would that give him pause, you think, to think more about it with how his team was dealt with as far as this bowl consideration stuff's concerned?
It's got to enter his mind. Again, not that that's going to make him make a move this year. I think this is the perfect storm in a good way for Indiana University because this will further rally the troops, as in people that support the Hoosiers, into investing into the Hoosiers. And by investing, I mean donating to the program, buying season tickets, not being out in the meadow, but actually, coming in to watch the game when they have that opportunity in the fall. And I guarantee you that will be the rallying cry for every workout that Indiana has during the course of the offseason. We did all of these things, and we were still disrespected. And now that things reverse, and, again, they could change the scheduling pattern, but I believe that Ohio State would be due to be in Bloomington this coming year. And everything that this program will do from after the bowl game until whenever that date is that Ohio State comes to Bloomington will be about beating the Buckeyes and sending a message to everybody in the Big Ten, everybody in the college football landscape about, hey, respect us. We're not a flash in the pan. This is something significant and serious here. So could it play into his mindset down the road? Yeah, maybe. But I think it's really more just added fuel to the fire to continue to build upon what was a wonderful year for Indiana University.
Hey, Greg, I mentioned this too. You got to go out and you got to take care of Ole Miss, or a lot of this goes away. And I even said this, and I actually had quoted I think it was, Remember the Titans. And it was the assistant coach in that who said, leave no doubt, right? In one of those games in that postseason, leave no doubt. And I think it's one of those circumstances where you want to leave no doubt. You want to leave everybody thinking, you know what? Everybody making the argument for IU not being put in the right bowl or being disrespected or not given enough love, that argument was accurate. And unfortunately, it falls on deaf ears if you go out there and you lose or you don't play well. So this is an incredibly important game coming up January the 2nd.
You could argue that there is more pressure, and again, let's separate the bowl games that count and those that are exhibitions. There are truly 3 bowl games that count, the semifinals and championship. Everything else, glorified exhibition. There is more pressure on IU because of their reaction, kind of the national media's reaction, clearly the local media's reaction. There is more pressure on them to win their bowl game than anybody else. And again, I think that's a good thing. I think there would be a tendency, given what this team accomplished and then knowing that they missed their last 2 games here because of COVID-19 concerns, so just say, you know what, it was a great year. Who cares what we do? No, when you go out and say publicly, hey, we think we got jobbed here. We should be playing at a higher level bowl, even when this is the best bowl Indiana has played in at least 30 years, if not all the way back to the Rose Bowl in '67. You have to go out and win this game. Leaving no doubt, to use your terminology, would be nice. In other words, stopping a mud hole in Ole Miss. That's great and all. You just got to go out and win the game. So I do think there is now pressure that has been applied, and that's a good thing on this Indiana University football program.
Yeah, and Ole Miss offensively can get it done. No question about that. They just can't stop anybody. But offensively, they can do some things.
No doubt about that, and especially with Lane Kiffin. And, Tom Allen and Lane Kiffin are great quotes, both in completely different versions of that. But it should make for some interesting conversation leading up to next Saturday's game.
All right, holiday weekend as far as high school basketball is concerned. How's everything going so far in the world of scheduling and the world living and trying to play amid the COVID pandemic?
Teams are soldiering through. I'll have Fishers tonight. They play Lawrence North at 7:35. That game's on MyIndy TV. Fishers missed 2 games, then came back to play HSE on Friday and got beat. So they have played just 3 times this year. LN comes in at 4-0 and number 1 in the state of Indiana. I'm going to have Bar Eve and Carmel tomorrow at 4:30. So you had best be watching Channel 10 in the studio.
That's a
You can watch Carmel.
That's a 4:30 start tomorrow, huh?
That is a 4:30 start. That is an early start to let the kids from Bar Eve get home, begin their holiday. Obviously, nobody plays Thursday and Friday. A select handful of games are on Saturday, including the first round of the Wabash Valley Classic. And to show you that this year is different than most years, John, you want to guess who the first game is in the Wabash Valley Classic on Saturday?
Linton and Park Heritage.
Bloomington South and Counts. So you were close. So it's a little bit different this year. And they've had 2 teams, exactly, that have had to back no Illinois teams this year. And they've had 2 teams in the last 10 days that have not been able to play because of COVID-19. So as of now, they're at 14 teams, and they're simply going to, kind of shorten the losers bracket and almost kind of arrange games to make sure everybody gets to play at least 3 times over the course of the tournament. And they'll go forward with having 14 teams in the draw instead of 16. Most teams are playing some form of a holiday tournament either Monday or Tuesday next week or Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Then some teams will play Saturday, January 2nd. And then by that time, most teams are back into some semblance of a normal schedule. So there are a very small number of teams that have still yet to play this year, but there are teams that have played 6 or 7 times as their normal schedule indicates. So for the most part, teams maybe have dealt with a week or 2 off. You just kind of go about your business. You find somebody else to play, and just be thankful that you're still playing right now.
I saw on Twitter over the weekend where Bar Eve had lost a game, and Josh Thompson was almost had a game locked up playing Hammond.
So here's the story. We'll talk more about this on the broadcast.
Okay.
I'll see Josh tomorrow. Hammond was playing in Evansville Bossie's event on Saturday. And Hammond is a team. Hammond is going to come down and play in North Central's tournament that I'll be doing next weekend. So I'll see them twice. I had them once already. They nearly beat Lawrence North. Hammond is probably a team in 3A that has as good of a chance as anybody to hang with Silver Creek in terms of 3A state championship. So they were already on their way down to Evansville to play the next day, which is why they were available to potentially come to the Viking ship and play Bar Reeve on Friday night. It ended up not happening, but it isn't past the realm of possibility that those two teams reconnect at some point down the road, find a neutral site in the middle, and go play if one or both of them need a game or two as the season goes along.
It's Greg Rakestraw, the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Well done. You and the family have a fantastic Christmas.
You too, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
It's Greg Rakestraw, the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Bar Reeve and Carmel. I would have never thought that in a zillion years tomorrow. Yeah, we will have to put that up in here tomorrow. I'm going to watch that. Bar Reeve's legit, everybody. Legit. Quick with Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus, top of the hour. Zach Pascal, Colts wide receiver at 5, 93.5, 107.5, 1070 The Fan.
Hubler Auto Group has 8 brands to choose from and thousands of vehicles in stock. Plus, all new vehicles come with a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty included. Visit drivehubler.com.
This football season, tune in to The Fan each week for the latest football news with reports from Darius Butler and Xavier Rhodes, all powered by PointsBet Sportsbook.
Every game has 1,000 storylines. So if you've got an angle, a hunch, or some info you got from that guy in 10 fantasy leagues across the street, Unibet's got that bet. Unibet Sportsbook has all the bets you need for every game. Sign up today and get $30 to bet with. No deposit required. Download the app or visit in.unibet.com. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Bowling, 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 keep them balls a-rolling. Bowling, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin.
Royal Pin Entertainment offers fun for the entire family, and bowling is even more fun during the cold weather. Royal Pin Entertainment takes reservations at royalpin.com, so there are no long lines, and bowling can be enjoyed by the entire family. And on Sundays, kids bowl free until 1 in the afternoon. Everyone can become an Open Lane Rewards member just by downloading the Open Lane app and earning money-saving discounts. Bowling's fun and affordable, too. Monday's draft beer's just $3 each on all brands. So gather your crew and join in at one of the Royal Pin Entertainment modern locations. To check out specials, go to royalpin.com or download the app. Get ready to roll at Royal Pin Entertainment.
Royal Pin, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin, bowling.
We need some Christmas cheer at Wheeler Mission. Alarming numbers of our hungry neighbors are coming to us for a meal, and our shelters are seeing a record number of people every night. Help us share meals, shelter, care, and lots of Christmas cheer today. Please donate now. Visit WheelerMission.org. That's WHEELER mission.org. Please donate and help now.
Hey, Dan Dockage here for the Michaelis Corporation, wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Michaelis can help in a time of need with fire, water, or storm damage. No matter the day or the hour, Michaelis can help. I know. The lovely Lee Ross and I have had Michaelis to our house for emergency services and planned restoration work. Let's count our blessings this holiday season. If you do need emergency services, because life happens, water, storms, fire, and foundations, make it Michaelis. 844-FIX-INDY.
This is Jerome Bettis, and I want to introduce you to my friends at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Bet Rivers is the #1 sportsbook across the way in Illinois and the trusted partner of French Lick Casino here in Indiana. Bet Rivers truly cares about your satisfaction and works hard to deliver a sports betting experience second to none. Make your next bet with the trusted team at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Go to betrivers.com and bet with the winner.
Must be 21 or over to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448. Playable only in Indiana.
Go trackside with Kurt Cabin and Kevin Lee. Tonight at 7 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
What did you say? I said we need a water break. You need a water break. Water is for cowards. Water makes you weak. Water is for washing blood off that uniform, and you don't get no blood on my uniform. Boy, you must be outside your mind.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Greg Greg Rakestraw, podcast 1075thefan.com. Jeff writes this, JMV at 1070thefan.com. I'm afraid Cincinnati poked the hornet's nest. I'm in the category of believing it when I see it. And I know that the Steelers looked terrible last night and have for the better part of a month, but yeah. I'm not with it yet until I see it. Would you say, Kyle, that the line went from Colts plus 2.5 to now Colts minus 1.5?
It opened, Steelers were favored by 3, and then just from that game last night, now the Colts are 1.5-point favorites on FanDuel.
Yeah, I'm going to have to believe it. Believe it when I see it. This has been a long time, no matter the personnel, no matter the situations. I mean, even when you thought they were in a good spot as you felt they were a year ago, just comes apart at the seams. I mean, don't they – I know we just watched them last night, and I know it was Cincinnati, but they got so much talent still on that team not to, at some point, wake up. Be great to see, don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I absolutely expected by virtue of what happened last night or, for that matter, the past 2-3 weeks. To me, it remains to be seen. Yeah, JMV, I heard you talking about the NCAA tournament here. Seems like it's only a matter of time until they make that announcement. I'm all for that announcement, too. Hey, JMV, DeForest Buckner did not make the Pro Bowl. Can you explain this to me? Yeah, it happens every year, and it happened to more than just DeForest Buckner, I'm sure. So that's what happens when you have a certain amount of spots and not everybody makes it. You're going to have a massive debate about it. And he's been incredibly important to this defense. I think everybody around here understands that, even if that's not the case league-wide or whatever. He has been good for this team, and there is little question about that. But, I mean, you talk about it. You can debate it for a minute and then move on to something else. Hey, JMV, I heard you pick the Steelers over the Colts. Jim, I did too yesterday. Both Mike Wells and I picked the Steelers. Are you staying put with your selection after Monday Night Football? I'm going to stick to it right now. Hey, listen, hopefully you're wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully Mike's wrong, but I've just been down the path a couple of different times. I mean, we'll say this. I mean, a lot has to change for the Steelers. Make no mistake about that. It's just, we've been down this path a couple of different ways with different personnel before, and it's just unbelievable to see Pittsburgh in the last month go to where they were to where they are right now. Because they did look terrible. NBA starts coming up later on tonight. So Wiseman's going to get the start tonight for the Warriors. Did I see that? At center. Who they play the Nets tonight? That the opener for them? I know the Pacers open against the Knicks coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, and Draymond Green is out. Might be a reason Wiseman's starting.
Yeah. Man, it's weird. NBA night number 1, a couple of days before Christmas. And the season just ended, 2 months ago? Pretty incredible. All right, quick one. We'll come back. Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus. Some of the numbers the Colts are putting up compared to that of the Steelers as we enter next week's matchup in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. Sam's going to join us with that. Zach Pasquale, the Colts, the wide receivers, going to phone in here coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Hour 2 straight ahead, 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
He's in. Jonathan Taylor.
The Colts take one step closer to the postseason.
He fumbled the ball. Who's got the football? The Colts have it. It's a touchdown.
Up next, the AFC North leading Pittsburgh Steelers. They've lost 3 in a row.
They fight like this, it's unacceptable.
Let's try to make it 4. Our coverage starts Sunday morning at 10. Matt Taylor with the call at 1 o'clock.
And he's in. Zach Pascal.
On your home for Colts football.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
It's John for Andy Moore Buick GMC in Fishers. That's 131st and State Road 37. And my man, Eric Wilson. Eric Wilson giving you, well, just a great deal on whatever you're looking forward to. We're talking acres of GMCs and Buicks just for you at great deals this time of year. Now, one thing you always hear is, really a new car during the holiday season? But no, these are some great deals going on. And let Eric and the staff talk to you about how you can get in that new ride of your choice. I love the GMC Acadia, and so does my wife, which is a big deal. $5,500 GMC consumer cash, and in total, Andy Moore discounts up to $10,000 off of MSRP. That's going on right now. You can lease one for $289 per month with 0 down payment. If you dig a vehicle with all the bells and whistles, that's got something for you there, too. I mean, it's got everything going on to keep you and your family safe and moving down the road. It's the GMC Acadia. Check it out today. Have a conversation with Eric Wilson or somebody on his staff and let them go to work for you at Andy Moore Buick GMC. Happy holidays to you, and tell them I sent you. 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
BetMGM makes Christmas Day with the NBA even more fun with a special offer for new customers. Sign up today for a chance to win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on any Christmas Day NBA game and a three-pointer is scored in any of the games played that day. Just use bonus code TalentCode100 when you make your first bet to take advantage of this offer. Give yourself the gift of signing up with the king of sportsbooks and discover BetMGM's innovative parlay selection features, boosted odds specials, daily promotions, and much more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code TalentCode100 to win $100 in free bets if a three-pointer is scored in any NBA game on Christmas Day. BetMGM is the place to bet with confidence on NBA action. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years or older to wager. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. I started my first business in a dingy basement of a factory in 1986. Instead of customers, my visitors were rats, birds, flies, and snakes. To psych myself up that I was going to succeed, I wore formal business attire and a tie to that lonely factory basement every day. I was a total type A business geek, crunching spreadsheets for my accounting. Today, my fifth successful business, Patriot Software, makes accounting simple for accountants and non-accountants alike, eliminating the need for many of us business geeks to crunch spreadsheets or wear formal business attire ever again. Go to PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of accounting software free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
Accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Hey, who's in the mood for a great steak dinner?
You know I am.
This is my good friend, Craig Hughes, owner of St. Elmo Steakhouse.
And this is my good friend, Tony Ricci, owner of Tony's of Indianapolis.
You might think we'd be competitors.
But for us, nothing's more important than serving our community.
If you love downtown Indy like we do,
we need your support. And there's no better time to visit all of your favorite downtown businesses than right now.
If you can join us in person, we'd love to see you.
If not, pick up a delicious meal to enjoy at home.
Or treat someone to a gift card.
Support Tony's, St. Elmo, and all the downtown Indy businesses you know and love this holiday season. From gifts to gift cards, take out to dine in. Indy's downtown shops and restaurants are ready to serve you and be a bright spot during a tough year.
We're here for you.
And we want to keep it that way.
From your friends at St. Elmo.
And at Tony's.
Happy holidays.
Hello, this is Rob Evans. For over 30 years, the Indianapolis Neighborhood Housing Partnership has helped residents prepare for homeownership, even the unexpected, and that mission continues today. Visit inhp.org.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Celebrate Christmas with an NBA doubleheader. The action begins Friday at 4:30 on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
2nd and 2. Finley will keep it right up the middle. Ryan Finley having himself a good old time. 23-yard rushing touchdown. Extends the Bengals lead.
That's Ryan Finley doing a little finger roll after that touchdown run. ESPN, the broadcast last night, and the call right there on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus, lead NFL analyst, co-host of the Pro Football Focus podcast, joins us now. So what in the last month has happened to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, they've kind of fallen apart offensively. I think overall, something like this was coming. They were never quite as good as that undefeated record. I think there were losses on the horizon. Even if they had a shot to keep on sneaking by at one point. But the collapse, this magnitude of collapse is definitely something we didn't really see coming, particularly last night against the Bengals. You know, whatever about a potential trap game against Washington, they've had games that make sense for them to lose, but the Bengals have been a get-right situation for a lot of teams this season. The Cleveland Browns have bounced back twice against the Bengals. So for Pittsburgh to come out and look as bad as they've looked all season long and lose to Cincinnati is, I think, a massive red flag for them and a real problem that they have to try and fix.
Is this something you think they can get fixed, for example, before they take on the Colts coming up Sunday?
Yeah, it's tough to know if they can piece this all back together in quick order. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger is playing badly right now. The offense, scheme-wise, is not helping him out, but that's partly due to him. You know, Ben Roethlisberger famously doesn't like running heavy play action because he doesn't want to take his eyes off the defense. But that's just one of those things that offenses have discovered works. It's a win for the quarterback. Even if it's more uncomfortable for them and they don't love doing it, it makes you a more efficient offense. So a lot of the things that they're doing on offense is because it's what they are comfortable doing. It's what they feel the best running, but it's not the most efficient way of playing. And now teams have been able to slow down the stuff that they are comfortable running.
Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You mentioned a great deal of the issues of the last month falls on the shoulders of the offense. How does that defense, how has it looked through that time? And we kind of wondered, they lost Devin Bush earlier this year, and they were kind of getting through that, and we were talking about how there hadn't been a big-time effect. Have we seen that effect in this last month defensively for them?
Yeah, I think the injuries have certainly started to add up, and the defense isn't quite as imposing as it was earlier in the season. But it's difficult to really dial into whether that is a product of more and more guys getting injured and just that eventually catching up to them, or simply that defenses in today's NFL are much more high variance than offenses are. They're kind of a product of the offenses they face, and it's very difficult to sustain really high-level elite defense for an entire season. Eventually, it's going to come back down to earth at some point, and you're going to find the bad end of that. And it's difficult to figure out exactly which one Pittsburgh is dealing with right now, if not both at the same time. But we've definitely reached a point where that defense is no longer able to carry the poor play from the offense.
Yeah, it's no doubt about that. Sam Monson with us. One of the things we've been looking at, too, from a Colts standpoint, is the play of Phillip Rivers, especially in the past 3 weeks, or I guess in most recent history. How impressed have you been with what he's accomplished, especially in the last month or so?
I think he's been impressive. I mean, this is the Phillip Rivers that the Indianapolis Colts thought they were signing or wanted to sign, in terms of a guy that's good enough to, take a good roster to the playoffs and potentially win once he gets there. Clearly Jacoby Brissett wasn't capable of elevating his game to achieve that last year when he had the shot. And, Rivers has had some iffy games. He's had some poor performances, but outside of those, he's been good. And he's really got kind of a remarkable grading profile this season that he has no average grades, no average games whatsoever. He's either been bad or very good or good. So the Colts really go as far as he takes them, and if they can avoid those bad Rivers games, he's more than good enough to take this team past even extremely good opposition.
I have talked about this for a while now, too. Protecting him and making sure he's in that rhythm has been the biggest of deals. Does it all fall on the shoulders of this offensive line? Is it more about the play calling or what they're able to do with the run? What do you think keeps him in this comfortable, rhythmic type of throwing game we've seen in the last month or so?
I think it's all of those things, but definitely the offensive line is big. When you reach Phillip Rivers' age, I think a lot of quarterbacks need superior pass protection. They need a really comfortable pocket to just have the confidence to stand there and know that you can deliver the passes that you're capable of delivering. And, most of the season, Rivers has had that. And when it's not even necessarily when the weight of pressure or when the volume of pressure becomes too much, but it's just when he decides that it's one of those games, and he isn't quite confident with the pass blocking in front of him, that is when you get those bad Rivers games and those uncomfortable moments.
Sam Monson of Pro Football Focus is with us. Has he done enough in your eyes? Because I've talked about this. I mean, they signed him to a one-year deal, but they ultimately want him to be here for 2. They want him to be here in 2021 as well. Has he done enough as to this point for you to believe that he should be brought back as the quarterback of the Colts next year?
I think it depends what the alternative options are. He certainly looked like he's a viable option in 2021, and if that's what you went with, it wouldn't be a terrible decision, but you have to weigh that up against what your potential alternatives are. Are they going to get a shot to draft somebody that they think would be better? Are they going to take a run at a guy like Jameis Winston, who might, could be a better option? So, the NFL has reached a point where there is an abundance of quarterbacks. Where there's more than 32 viable potential starters in the NFL, and some of these guys are sitting there with backup jobs right now. Marcus Mariota, we saw for the Raiders, come into the game and play really well and show that he could be a viable starter as well. So, I think Rivers is definitely a live option. I think he's shown this season that it doesn't have to be a one-year deal, and he could play next year and probably do a good job. But there will be other options as well, and younger options and potentially cheaper options. So it's really up to them to evaluate whether they think any of those is a better one.
Sam, we've been talking about this, and it always happens. I mean, you're going to get Pro Bowl snubs every single year. And most around here suggesting that DeForest Buckner was one of those Pro Bowl snubs. What did you think?
Yeah, I think he definitely was. I think DeForest Buckner's been one of the best interior defenders in the NFL, and he should absolutely be at the Pro Bowl. Really, the only guy you could make a strong argument in the AFC that's been better than him is Cameron Hayward, and he was there.
Yeah, I know people kind of were expecting it, I guess, but he just, to me, and I've mentioned this before too to you, I think of the offseason deals, whether we're talking about trades or free agencies or just pickups or whatever, that deal the Colts made for number 13, bringing in Buckner, was one of the largest done this past offseason.
Yeah, and it's proved to be a great deal. I mean, they were happy with the player they were getting from San Francisco for the 13th overall pick and the big money contract. And Buckner has been, I think, significantly better this season than he has been in any year playing for the 49ers. So there's almost no way that this kind of exceeded their expectations, even if they were anticipating, a little bit of a positive bump in their system or, whatever they thought of Buckner. This has been a fantastic move for them, and particularly when they kind of had contract money to burn. They had salary cap space that they needed to spend, and they weren't going to get a better player than Buckner with the 13th overall pick. So I think that's a phenomenal trade that's worked out great.
What do you guys rank Buckner as far as defensive linemen are concerned across the NFL landscape?
Yeah, I mean, certainly in terms of interior guys, he's probably top 5 this year, maybe even a little bit higher. You've got Aaron Donald, who's the number 1 guy by a distance, and then everybody is chasing to be that number 2 guy, and it's Cameron Hayward, it's DeForest Buckner, it's Chris Jones, but he's in that group.
Yeah, Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus, with us. When you look at how things are going in the AFC right now, there's going to be a good team left out. There's going to be a team with a good record left out. Who do you think, as of right now, at least with your logic, will be that team on the outside looking in at the end of the regular season?
I think Miami is probably going to miss out. You know, Baltimore should go 2-0 with their final 2 games. Miami's 2 games are pretty tough. So you would think they're probably going to drop one of them somewhere along the way. I think the odds say that Miami will just miss out.
You look at Miami, have they been as impressive as anybody else with the type of turnaround and I guess that ultimate upside that I guess people are going to take and raise the bar even more next year? How impressive have they been in 2020 to you?
It's been very impressive. I think they're definitely ahead of the curve of where we thought they would be. This is a team that was building for the future, and probably next year is when they expected to be contending. But that defense has been legit, and they've been, firing on all cylinders. And the quarterback switch to Tua certainly hasn't harmed them. They've been able to get enough done on offense, and they could make the playoffs with an 11-win record.
Sam Monson of Pro Football Focus with us. We saw Deshaun Watson again last weekend, and really, you go back 2 weekends now, 2 out of the last 3, the Colts have survived by virtue of fumbles, if you will, in beating the Texans. Deshaun Watson, though, going into being a part right now of his prime, are the Texans in any position right now to put together the type of team that he needs for them to be successful? Because he's really good at keeping them in games, but as far as not having the pieces around him, that's kind of a scary proposition in Houston.
It is, yeah, and they don't have a lot to work with in terms of draft picks and all the things you normally use to surround an elite quarterback with some weaponry. So, yeah, they're in a tough spot. In one way of looking at it, it's a phenomenally attractive job because you have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But the other way of looking at it is you don't have the capability of giving that guy the help he needs in the next draft or 2. So they're in a tough spot. Deshaun Watson has been carrying this team to an incredible degree this season, and he's probably going to have to do that for the foreseeable future.
Hey, Sam, what'd you think about the return of Drew Brees this past weekend in that loss to the Chiefs?
Yeah, it's tough. I don't think he looked great. Even before he got injured, his arm and his physical decline was becoming something of a problem, and he's clearly not 100% healthy with those broken ribs. So you're dealing with, 80% of the guy that was already starting to become a bit of an issue. I don't know that the Saints are getting an awful lot of joy unless Drew Brees is 100% healthy in the playoffs.
Yeah, it just makes you kind of wonder if he's going to be able, because there's not a lot of time to work back into optimum postseason level, and I kind of makes you wonder if he's going to be able to do that in this short amount of time.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows which one of these is actually the most important, but it feels to me like you're better off, taking your chances with rust and having 100% physically healthy Drew Brees than you are trying to get him, playing in rhythm, but fighting through those broken ribs the whole way. I think you just got to get that guy healthy, make sure he's 100% healed, and rely on the fact that he's been doing this for 20 years. He's not going to be rusty.
Was that second half for the Buccaneers against the Falcons over the weekend, was that a season saver? Maybe. Could you view that game that way?
Oh, it's definitely potentially a season saver for them. They needed wins just to make the postseason, let alone go on a run once they get there. So, I don't know that we learned an awful lot from it other than that they still have an incredible amount of talented playmakers, but they needed to get that done. However it happened, they needed to get a win out of that game.
Has it been – people always want to say, well, you bring a lot of noted drama in there, but it hasn't so much been the drama. It's just been a level of ineffective play that makes you wonder, is that the level they're getting with some of these former superstar guys right now?
Yeah, I don't really think drama is the issue. I think that they just haven't worked out what that offense should look like yet or how it should deal with various different situations. And teams that have thrown blitzes and creative pressure packages at them, they haven't had a good answer to that yet. And they haven't really shown the development in that area either. They're not on the same page in terms of hot routes and They don't have a ton of intermediate patterns that are available to Brady when he does get pressure. It's either a deep shot or a dump off to a running back in the flat. So they're still relying on just being more talented than the opposition, and that's probably only going to take you so far.
Sam, you look at the Rams over the weekend, too, and losing to the Jets. And, man, there are some weekends when they look legit. Both sides of the football, tough to handle. And then there was this past weekend. What Rams team are you expecting for the postseason?
I mean, I think the big issue with the Rams is when that offensive line doesn't perform, the offense simply can't fire. And you can probably track a pretty accurate reflection of how well they've been playing over the last few years by how good the offensive line has been. And this week, they were absolutely destroyed up front by the New York Jets defensive line. That interior trio for the Rams all had PFF grades under 50. They just got absolutely controlled. And when that happens, the offense just cannot fire. And unless they either avoid that in the playoffs or they figure out a solution to that, they're going to come unstuck.
Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus, is with us. Is it reasonable to suggest that Carson Wentz is going to be someplace next year? And with that, is it reasonable to suggest he can pick up his career and save it someplace else, if so?
I don't think he's going to be playing somewhere else. I think it's too hard for them to get away from that contract, or they would have to, swallow too big a pill to make it happen. So I think he's going to be in Philadelphia in 2021. And the only real question is it going to be, is he going to be starting? And I think he probably will be, because I don't know that you can have seen enough from Jalen Hurts yet to be confident to move to him. And we know that Wentz has got incredible high-end play in his locker. I think they have to figure out a way of piecing him back together in the offseason.
Does Hurts look like a future year-after-year starter of the NFL to you so far?
I think it's too soon to tell. We've seen some good things from him. The baseline of play that he's brought has been impressive just because it's so much higher than what Carson Wentz was giving them. And they can at least evaluate everything else in the offense now. But, his statistics, I think, flatter his performance a little bit. He's made some mistakes that he hasn't been punished for that could come back down to earth over the last two games. Or even if it doesn't, it would still be just an incredibly small sample size of play that we've seen young quarterbacks go on before, and it hasn't necessarily translated to long-term success. So, I think he's got potential. He's got ability. He's got playmaking skill and has shown some, moxie and some clutch play. But he doesn't have enough time to prove that he can be that guy.
We saw a lot of offseason change, quarterback-wise, around the NFL landscape this past offseason. How much will we see this coming offseason?
I think there'll probably still be some pretty significant turnover as well. I think we've reached this point in the NFL where there are a lot of options in any given season. It used to be that viable starting quarterbacks just didn't hit the open market because there were only 15, 20 of those guys in the league at any given moment, and you never let go of one once you had one. But that's not true anymore. Now you can find these guys, effectively on the street in the offseason. Guys like Andy Dalton can still start for NFL teams, and he had to take a job as a backup. Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Cam Newton, had to sign late as a one-year prove-it deal. It's easier now to find quarterbacks, and I think that means that teams are more willing to let go of them and let them move elsewhere.
Are there any obvious? I mean, obviously, to me, there's no way Cam Newton's going to be doing anything in New England. However, he said yesterday that he still believes he's a starter in the NFL. Do you believe that to be the case? And give me a name or two you think may end up changing addresses for the better of their quarterbacking career in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Jameis Winston is the future in New Orleans, so I think Jameis Winston is going to be trying to chase another job somewhere. And Marcus Mariota obviously put himself in the shop window with how he performed in favor of Derek Carr when Carr injured his groin against the Chargers. So I think those are a couple. And then obviously there are going to be openings on these teams with old quarterbacks. Breeze is probably going to retire, whether they give the job to Taysom Hill or whether they'll let somebody else take a run at it. Indianapolis, you talked about, maybe they go with Phillip Rivers, maybe they go with one other of these quarterbacks.
One final question, too. We had a lot of conversation around here, and I don't really dive into this or not, but Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, for example, how great of a fit is that too? And is he the type of, defining era quarterback as a starter years down the road, as everybody describes him to be in NFL circles?
There's obviously no guarantees with any quarterback prospect, but Trevor Lawrence is as clean and as good a quarterback prospect as we have seen come along since PFF has been great in college. He's got 3 seasons with a PFF grade above 90. Our draft guru, Mike Renner, says he's the best prospect since Peyton Manning, better than an Andrew Luck when he came out of college. So, you can't guarantee it, but everything says that Trevor Lawrence is a transcendent, game-changing quarterback prospect.
Yeah. How's everybody else in college look? For example, how does Justin Fields, because you are watching him in the Big Ten title game and you didn't think too much of it, and he may have faded a little bit. Where is he in comparison, at least to the numbers you guys crunch, to that of Trevor Lawrence?
I think it's a good quarterback class. And, Justin Fields has got a pretty good resume himself. And, Zach Wilson's played phenomenally this year. And Trey Lance has got some good grades in the past as well. There are a lot of other options, but all of them have more question marks than Trevor Lawrence. It's not that they're necessarily that their ceilings are lower or the potential isn't there, but it's just the percentage chance and how confident you are that they're going to hit that. You can construct a case that picks apart Justin Fields in a way that it's very difficult to do for Trevor Lawrence. I think he's had a very easy time of it in that offense at Ohio State. He's got some of those bad games. He hasn't had to do as much at times. There are negatives to his game, or at least red flags, but I think that the upside is still incredibly attractive and tantalizing.
Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus. He's their NFL lead analyst. He's the co-host of Pro Football Focus podcast and comes on with us every Tuesday to crunch those numbers. All right, we'll see what happens coming up this weekend. A lot of people talking about the Colts and the Steelers. Do you think it's one of those things last night where this is going to inspire the Steelers to play better, or are they just at a point right now where they're not going to be able to lift themselves up?
I think they're in trouble. I mean, we thought that they would have already had motivation to bounce back and prove that their first loss was a fluke and that they are as good as their record says, but they haven't been able to right the ship since. And now they're facing, better teams than the ones that have given them trouble.
Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Always a pleasure, my friend. Have a great holiday.
Thanks, you too. Take it easy.
Quick break, and we shall return. Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Zach Pascal joining us, Colts wide receiver, top of the hour. Your calls until that point in time at 239-1070. Emails, JMV at 1070thefan.com, and on Twitter at JMV1070. Inside the Lounge, if you guys want to go there, you can, because the conversations are working right now. My guys Peyton and John and Jonah and the whole hee-haw gang working right now, which is really good. Check it out. You can listen, you can watch, and participate. The Lounge, YouTube Live, The Ride with JMV. Back with you next.
Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. You'll find a massive number of basketball betting options, bet point spreads, money lines, and game totals directly from your mobile device. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we pay fast. We pride ourselves on our quick and easy payouts. Sign up now. We'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, more action, more fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
My name is Taylor McLean, and my brother saved 5 lives. In 2016, when my brother, Hoosier race car driver Brian Clausen, tragically died in a racing accident, he became a hero because of his decision to be an organ donor. That decision has inspired countless others to do the same.
All of it was such a story, and the way it all connected together, every layer of it.
NASCAR champ Ryan Newman sat down with Indiana Donor Network and shared what inspired him to join the Driven to Save Lives movement.
The reality was he did a great thing, but the chain of events and how it affected other people, I believe, made him a legend, made him somebody special, even more special than just being a race car driver, than just being a friend or a family member. When you're giving like that, you become legendary.
Join the movement and sign up as an organ donor at driventosavelives.org.
Hey, John for Love Heating and Air Conditioning, 317-353-2141, making sure you're warm and comfortable here in the wintertime and running efficiently. Given that if your heating unit isn't, that's going to cost you a lot of money. That sucks. You go with the best. John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air Conditioning. And keep this in mind, breathable air has become a big deal, and there is such a difference between how it is in your home if you have it and if you don't. That's why Love Heating and Air Conditioning has joined forces with state-of-the-art iWave to make sure that your home has the best air to breathe for you and your family. This is legit. People are jumping on board with this. You should, too. Great prices right now at Love Heating and Air Conditioning. 317-353-2141 or John and Chris Love. Tell them I sent you. Love-HVAC.com today.
Christmas greetings from Right Away Heating and Cooling and the owner Keith Barnett, who remembers one of his favorite Christmases.
Christmas Day, I had a phone call a little after 8:30 in the morning. Customer didn't have any heat. I promptly come out there to check out the problem, and they had a leaf on their intake on their furnace. Within 15 minutes, we had their furnace up and going just by removing the leaf. I might have stayed a little bit for breakfast. They had it made.
Right Away Heating and Cooling is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Names aren't given, they're earned. 86 years ago, William Hill earned his by betting on himself. Today, William Hill has the most sports books in America. And now, they're here in Indiana. Sign up for the William Hill mobile app and get up to a $500 free bet on deposit. Use promo code RADIO500. Must be physically present in Indiana. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Let's make it interesting with William Hill Sportsbook.
This is Rob Evans. At INHP, we provide access to affordable financing options, giving our clients the power to choose where they want to live. Learn how we do it at inhp.org.
It's the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Michael Grady.
The window the Colts have as a complete football team is wide open. Phillips' window does not sync up. You need to bring somebody in that is going to match up with the window that you feel you have with this complete football team. If that's Carson Wentz, damn it, bring it on.
The Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
This will be the high point of my day. It's all downhill from here.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Welcome back. I was fighting with my iPad right there. My bad. Sam Monson, the NFL analyst, Pro Football Focus podcast, co-host Greg Rakestraw a little bit earlier, podcast 107.5, thefan.com. I was just, my wife sent me a text. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you just get in these situations or what, but apparently we had another windshield. Man, you dump truck drivers, put that damn thing down. Put the cover down, all right? Nobody's riding up on your ass. Put your damn cover down so the rocks don't fly out and pound everybody's windshield. Lord have mercy. That's ridiculous. This is going to be like the second time in 2 months here. At least I'm not driving. Everybody thinks that's my fault. Seriously, I give props, too. If I see you, and I'm more noticing that now, I try my damnedest when I'm driving not to get behind any of you. Any of you. All right, because I know that you're not financially responsible for the crap that flies out of your bed when it's uncovered and smashes our windshield. With that in mind, I do. It's tough to dodge because I think there are more of you on the road right now than there is us. But I give props. I give props when I see companies that are riding around and have that thing down. So props to you if you do, and thanks for being a jackstick if you don't. I'm about sick of smacked windshields, man. Hell, I thought 2 months ago was bad. I was in the other damn lane. I was going northbound, and this thing was coming southbound, and it flew out of the back. I mean, you have to have some sort of bad luck working to have that take place. That's amazing. I don't want to get behind any of you, but I give props, and I will on the air. I'll give props to those companies out there that put those things down, because that's a pain in the ass. Lots of props if you put those things down. Hey, JMV, I completely agree with what Sam Monson just said regarding DeForest Buckner, and I would also believe that Kenny Moore should have been a part of it. See, and here's the thing, too. It's not about the Colts and how much better it's made the Colts, because I think we all know two of the most important defensive players on that team have been those two. And I think we all understand that both should have been Pro Bowl worthy, but it's not surprising that neither. I think Buckner surprises me a little bit. The Kenny Moore thing didn't really surprise me at all. But they have been huge, and I mean huge for this Colts team, without a doubt. Hey, JMV, I drive one of those trucks too, and I always put my cover down. I'm going to give you love if I see you if you put those things down. If you're riding with those things up, I'm not going to give you any love. I'm sick of having my windshield knocked loose. I just think I'm just incredibly unlucky, I guess. I mean, how do you, like, from another lane, northbound to southbound? If you put that cover down, you're getting some love from me if I see you on the road. And believe me, I drive everywhere. So I'll see you at some point. Hey, JMV, listen to Sam a moment ago. He doesn't seem too enthused as of right now with Rivers being the quarterback here next year. Well, in his defense, he hasn't been too enthused about Rivers being the quarterback in general here. But, I mean, he's given credit where credit is due. The difference is, I mean, we know because I've told you exactly what the Colts want to do. And as it stands right now, it looks like, to me, if it were the season ending today, which it doesn't, but just for the sake of the argument, that Rivers would be the quarterback here next year. But again, they'll wait until the end of the season to evaluate it top to bottom. I know it's really tough to think or suggest that a 39 going to be 40-year-old guy would be here again next year. But that is definitely my thought as of right now. But it could change. I mean, the whole season, there has never been anything as week to week as the NFL, and as week to week as the NFL in this season. I mean, it has been incredible, some of the things we've talked about, some of the things we've debated, the negatives and the positives, and how all of those things at some point this year, unless you're Kansas City, and I will say this, I mean, in the Kansas City loss, and in that game where Mahomes threw 3 interceptions a couple of weeks ago, I mean, people are still going to jump on them, and they clearly, and not even debatable, have the best offensive lineup of game-breaking dudes you're going to find in the NFL. Hey, Kyle and I were just talking about this a little bit earlier. Yeah, Travis Kelce. You go fantasy, he has been as big as most quarterbacks been the entire year. I know that's fantasy-wise, but that also equates to him being big and important to that Kansas City team as well. And I guess what I'm trying to tell you is, my suggestion is that even if you're Kansas City, you're a one-loss team and you look like that you're really in good position to defend your title of a year ago, but, I mean, you're a bad game away from stinking things up. And this season across the board has been odd. Maybe more so than certainly more so because of COVID than any other. But, I mean, it has, to me, been an even larger week-to-week scenario in the NFL in 2020 than we have ever seen it. JMV, I still don't understand why people are treating Rivers like this is the Curtis Painter era. Well, I will say this, Sean. There have been a lot of people that were certainly non-believers, but you got to go on the success. Now, again, I just mentioned how week to week this is. Who knows how everybody's going to feel in January? I mean, it could go two different directions. Maybe it just rides the same. I just told you all along what their hope is. And believe me, I get it. I get it why they want to and why they hope to go that direction. We were talking to Sam. Sam says, well, he'd mentioned guys that are on the market and, mentioned Jameis Winston. I mean, I don't think anybody around here be hardcore about Jameis Winston right now. They're just going to evaluate this about how this team looks once it, hopefully without any screw-ups, makes the postseason to see what they do. Ron is up at 239-1070. Hello, Ron.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Merry Christmas to you.
Ron,
and
right back
family.
to you, brother. Right back to you.
Yeah. I was wondering, what about Eason? I noticed in Lindy's it says great arm, but raw on talent. Are they going to keep him as maybe a quarterback of the future?
Listen, I deep down, I would suggest they would hope, but they don't know. I mean, they don't know. We don't know. You just haven't been able to see the dude.
Yeah, you never hear much about him. I just wonder if he's still on the team.
He is, but this team is in a situation where they want to win right now.
Yeah.
And they're not going to dive into a quarterback that has not been tested. And there's just not been enough opportunity. Like, you got no preseason. Nobody knows at all what this dude looks like, and he's not getting very much, if at all, opportunity to do anything, during practice here. So this team is built for winning right now, so they're going to go with a guy that's been there and done that. And that's obviously with Rivers in mind, and that's one of the reasons why they want to bridge that gap, and hopefully that Rivers can be here for them next year to give them more time to figure out that longer-term quarterback situation.
Yeah, well, when they got Rivers, I thought, well, wait and see. But he's done a great job, I feel. And, whoever figured they'd be 10-4 at this point of the season.
Yeah, he has. He's done it. He's played really well. There's no question. He's had some bumps in the road, but he's played really well recently. And I think that just goes to show you. Thank you, Ron, for the call. Happy holidays. When everybody else plays well around him, when he gets the offensive line help, little playmaking ability, he can still throw it. You just do not want him out of a comfort zone. John is up next at 239-1070. Hello, John.
JMV, hey, I wanted to give you guys a shout out. I appreciate everything that you guys did last week with that deal with Connecticut.
Yes, sir.
Got the deal in. They came in this morning, installed. Chris and the crew were amazing.
My man John has got a new Connecticut system. That is awesome, man. I'm glad. I love to hear it.
Almost $4,000 worth of system, and man, I'm telling you what, $1,500 off. That was amazing.
That's studly right there.
$23.45.
That is studly. Well done out of you, John. Thank you. Are you still there? You're not. Are you gone or still there? Oh, John, thank you. I took $1,500 off last week. Well done, John. Get that great water. We all need great water. JMV, I want to see this team beat a team like Pittsburgh. Although, when you factor in, I know what you're saying, and this email reads, I want to see them beat a team like Pittsburgh that has consistently this year been more highly touted, been the better team than the Colts, but I don't know if Pittsburgh is that team right now. The thing the Colts have to do is have to get over on Pittsburgh no matter what the circumstances for the first time since, 2008? And again, as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't even matter the personnel. I mean, there's a lot to overcome on Sunday, and you just don't sit there and think that because of what you've seen out of Pittsburgh in the past month and what you saw last night in Cincinnati, that's going to hold true. Facts JMV beat a team worth talking about, not Houston. Yeah, listen, and I'm all for that too. I'm for that too. Now, you just beat the teams that are on your schedule, but even with Pittsburgh playing bad right now, to overcome the Steelers, since the Colts have had zero success against them for the better part of, 14 years, 12 years? That's on the line coming up on Sunday. That's a big deal. Keith is up next at 239-1070. Hello, Keith.
What's up, JMV? Hey, two questions, or maybe just breaking down what you've always said. When the Colts are winning and they're in the playoffs, it's good for the city, and it's good for everybody surrounding it and the work, you know. So
Sure.
What's even better than that is the Colts playing after New Year's Eve, the JMV takeover. So,
well, the New Year's Eve JMV takeover is coming at you. That's a week from Thursday. You believe that?
No, I can't believe it. This year has sucked, and we've all stuck together, got through it. But I want to say for everybody out there that loves the sports show too and loves the Colts, as the Colts win, it's good for the city, it's good for work, it keeps things moving, going. But also, I'm looking forward to the JMV takeover New Year's Eve to see this year go away and blow a kiss to it, you know.
We're going to kick its ass out the door. That's what we're doing.
On.
I mean, we're throwing it out of the club 2020 into 2021. And you know what, Keith? I'm looking incredibly forward to it as well. If one thing came out of this year that I've really had a lot of fun with, it's been that.
That I have had so much. This has been so hard on me and a lot of my family and stuff. I call in a lot. Your sports show and the takeover.
Yep.
So when you hear a guy calling in for Duran or some Billy Idol or something off the cuff, B-52s, I'm always the dude that does that.
I'm on it, man.
I
am on
can't
it.
wait to call you and get that back in everybody's lives. So go Colts, go JMV takeover.
Gotcha. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that. That's a week from Thursday. He said he wanted some Duran. Turn this up over here, Kyle, would you? There's some Duran for Keith. I can hit the post whenever. I don't even know what's coming right there. Like, people have asked me what I'm going to do a week from Thursday. I'll be honest with you. I really don't know yet. You want to know why? Because I'm not going to know until I get in there. And that's what makes the JMV takeover the best. I have zero idea what I'm going to play. None. Until you tell me or until I'm in that moment. And you get that no place else. Other than in your house. If you want something like that, you're not going to find it unless it's in your own house, on your own system. But literally, I have zero idea what I'm going to play until I play it. None. Now, I may screw this thing up royally, too, because I haven't worked with that system down the hall in a month. And I'm not the brightest bulb in the box here either. But that is what it is. I mean, think about this for a moment. I mean, if you get radio or music radio or satellite radio, I mean, everything is ironed out well before time of what's going to be playing. I play it. I literally know and have no idea what I'm going to play 30 seconds before it's played. And that's awesome. And this has been as much fun for me as it hopefully has been for you guys. And a week from Thursday, we are throwing 2020 out of the club a week from Thursday in the JMV takeover. And I've got some product to take to you as well. Evan Williams, Mick Ultra, and some food gift cards I'm going to take to your place next week. JMV takeover, New Year's Eve style. It's a week from Thursday. Quick break. We'll come back. Zach Pascal of the Colts, top of the hour. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
The Fan and Jack Daniels want to make it count on game day and deliver to you the best home game experience with a Jack Daniels prize pack. For a shot at winning, hit up 1075thefan.com.
Hey,
Unibet Sportsbook, we know that within every bettor, there's a bet so genius, no other person on this planet could have thought of it. It's called a parlay, a custom-made bet that says, today, my confidence level is on the money. Sign up today and get $30 free to use on your first parlay and enjoy daily parlay boosts at Unibet Sportsbook. Download the app or visit in.unibet.com. Unibet Sportsbook, crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
With a free offer from Jiffy Lube and Pennzoil, here's owner Steve Center.
As we approach another Indiana winter, your neighborhood Jiffy Lube shops are offering free winter safety checks. No appointment and no purchases necessary. Just stop into any Jiffy Lube and we will check your tires, brakes, battery, wiper blades, fluid levels, and answer any questions you may have about dashboard lights or any strange noises your car may be making. It's all part of Jiffy Lube's focus on becoming your trusted source for preventive maintenance. Cars and trucks are made so well these days that all you need to do is take care of them and they will last a long time. 200,000 miles is the new 100,000 miles. So stop into Jiffy Lube today. No appointment and no purchase necessary. And let our trained technicians do a free winter safety check to give you the confidence to make it through another Indiana winter.
Jiffy Lube, Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985, proudly features Pennzoil. It's not just oil, it's Pennzoil.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Campbell here, serial entrepreneur. Here's what our payroll customer, Laura, thinks about us.
Patriot Software and their amazing team are a crucial part of our business. They handle the details of payroll and tax payments, so we can focus on delivering exceptional customer service to our own clients. Patriot's payroll is affordable, easy to use, and it keeps us organized. They're receptive to their customers and strive to demonstrate that each day. Without a doubt, we will be using their payroll services for many years to come. Thank you, Patriot Software. 5 stars.
Go to PatriotSoftware.com to get your payroll pricing for up to 100 employees. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Hey, Johnny, for Forum Credit Union, everybody. Well, where do you want to begin with that? There's a variety of ways to look at it. 2020, we want to look better financially than certainly we were this past year. So 2021 is what we have marked on that calendar, right? Forum Credit Union is there to help. Financial tips every month. That's forumcu.com and on their social media platforms. So whether you're saving for a down payment or you're ready to buy a new home, just maybe looking to be better in a more improved financial situation, Forum Credit Union, Kevin and the gang, they have the resources to help you today. If you want to speak to a financial rep, make that appointment today online, forumcu.com.
Hello, this is Greg Bassett. This is Jeff Bassett. From our family to yours, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We've been serving Central Indiana since 1978, and your family is like our family. We're here to take care of you through this holiday season. For all your furnace and air quality needs, give us a call or visit us at BassettServices.com.
Bassett Services is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Baby, it's cold. Baby, it's cold outside.
Did I remember to turn off the coffee pot? Did I close the garage? I need to pay the electric bill today. Wait, did I even pay it last month? Is that me? No, not me. People think it's me. Should I accuse someone else before they accuse dry cleaning? Someone else after the dry cleaning, I need to pick up the even like coffee pot. They don't like because they think I'll stop leaving the coffee.
Silence can be distracting. Distracted workers cost American businesses up to $650 billion a year. Lencore Sound. Google it. Bet on the game while you watch it. Live streaming of matches with loads of in-game betting options. Download BetRivers Sportsbook or go to BetRivers.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
The Colts are in Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Coverage Sunday morning at 10 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
And the beat goes on, yeah. And the beat goes on.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, Danny, there's your shout out right there. There's your favorite. It's from Jeff. JMV, it's been week to week in 2020 for everybody. Happy holidays to you all. Right back at you. Appreciate it. That was a quick fade right there. Zit. I'm just joking. Greg Rakestraw a little bit earlier was with us. Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus. Zach Pascal will join us coming up with the Colts, their wide receiver, after the top of the hour. I saw this a little bit earlier. Michigan has fired their defensive coordinator, Don Brown. So Dan Mullen got in trouble, prohibited from all off-campus recruiting activities during the fall 2020 evaluation period, and a 4-day off-campus recruiting ban during the fall 2021 contact period. Well done at Florida. That a little bit earlier today, too. Hey, JMV, are the Colts catching the Steelers at the right time? Extremely winnable game on Sunday. I don't know if it's that. You're still going to have to be tough. I mean, the Steelers have looked terrible. They're hearing about it from everybody. If they have any chance of getting up off this mat, Sunday would be a pretty good time to do it. You'd have to think. So it has just been, it's difficult. And the Colts have had difficulties with them. Basically, going back a couple of different eras here. So I would not overlook anybody at all. JMV, the good old days, and you believe the Colts are a top 7 team in the league this year. There's still a lot to prove. Still a lot to prove against better teams, especially that in the postseason. Make no mistake about that. They give you great moments. They have. But postseason-wise, that level is going to be upgraded a great deal. So, yeah, they have played well recently. Rivers has been really good recently, and you hope that that holds true. Hey, JMV, I know you've heard a lot of these rumors about Carson Wentz. What do you think about Carson Wentz, as a lot of the national folks suggest he's going to be here next year? Yeah, I'm not among those believers that that's going to take place. JMV, just everyone remember when the Colts were supposed to roll the Steelers in a home playoff game. There have been so many different Steeler examples. Yeah, I'd be careful suggesting that this is going to be a walkover and this Steeler team is absolutely done. Quick one, we'll come back. You, me, other side, Zach Pascal, Colts wide receiver, is also going to phone in, and we'll talk about his 2-touchdown performance, his viral chip block, and this locker room. When it is, for example, you look in Washington with the football team there, and their quarterback at the strip club, photograph with no mask, and what that is leading to in their locker room, how solid, I know oftentimes this is mentioned as, people talk about good guys, good team guys, good locker room, but this year, probably more so than any other year, having that good connected with one another locker room has been as important as ever. We'll discuss that with Zach coming up at the top of the hour. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Sports with Dan Dakich.
Coach Tom Allen, people want you at various schools. There are jobs open. How are you going to address this, or have you addressed this with your team?
The bottom line is that when you have success, people are going to talk, and people are going to want what we've created in Indiana. The LEO culture, they want that locker room, they want that sideline, and they want the way our kids play the game. But I'm the head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers.
Dan Dakich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
The holidays are here, and that means it's time for friends and family. That's why you won't be surprised that Penske Chevrolet is offering employee pricing to everyone this month. You're always treated like family by Jay Smith, Brett Rosie, and the amazing team at 96th and Keystone Avenue. But now you even share in the pricing that's usually only for Penske employees. Hold on to your hat for these savings. All 2020 Traverse LTs are now up to $7,800 off. 2020 Equinox LTs are up to $8,600 off. Treat yourself to the 2020 Silverado LT Crew Cab, because right now the price is slashed up to $10,200 off sticker. And the all-electric Chevy Bolt LT is up to $13,000 off at Penske Chevrolet. Employee pricing for everyone at Penske Chevrolet this month of December, so stop in at 96th and Keystone Avenue and pick out your favorite Chevy product. There's plenty of selection and colors to choose from, so maybe start your shopping at PenskeChevy.com. Treat yourself. You've earned it at Penske Chevy. Find new roads.
Hello, you. I'm your worst phobia. I am water. I'm like a spider skittering through your hair. A fat worm burrowing down into your ear. I am water. Soppy, soggy, mold-causing water. Seeping through your basement wall, lurking in your pipes, your toilet. Itching to leak, drip, burst. I've been called uninvited. I'm just a little water. Can't we be friends? How about a long, wet kiss?
Hey, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Water, storms, fire, and foundations.
Make it Michaelis.
844-FIX-IN.
Hey, John, basketball's back, and you know what that means. It's time for me to fire up the FanDuel Sportsbook app. From the opening tip to the final buzzer, everybody, there is so much going on here. It is easy to use, easy to sign up. That deposit's easy to find your bet, fast withdrawals when you win, and the range of betting options, money line spreads, over-unders, player props, parlay futures, find whatever bet you're looking for. It's just a heck of a lot of fun. The multi-game parlay, the same-game parlay, it is a fun time. It makes watching games even more enjoyable. And you'll love it with the basketball season firing up later on tonight. FanDuel is going to let you place that first bet risk-free. That's right. They'll give you up to $1,000 back if you don't win. And when you do, FanDuel pays you your winnings in as little as 24 hours. It is a great deal. It's a lot of fun. So get signed up today. FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code JMV. That's FanDuel Sportsbook. Promo code JMV, 21 plus and present in Indiana. First online, real money wager only. Site credit is not withdrawable and expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
After such an emotional year, she deserves a gift that brings out the best emotions possible. Happiness, joy, and love. At Diamonds Direct, we specialize in creating those memorable moments. And this year, we believe they're more important than ever. So, for the entire month of December, we're making it easy with 48 months zero-interest financing on everything. All rings, all earrings, all bracelets and pendants, all bands, and yes, all designer jewelry, including thousands of engagement rings with certified natural diamonds. With Diamonds Direct's expanded holiday selection, it's like shopping 50 jewelry stores at once. And rest assured, in our showrooms, we're going above and beyond when it comes to your safety. Plus, we're offering video chat, online shopping, and curbside pickup. However you connect with us, you'll get the best value, the highest quality, and the financing that makes everything affordable. 4 years, zero interest. After all you've been through this year, end it on a high note by celebrating your love with a gift that's romantic, timeless, and symbolic. From Diamonds Direct.
Keystone at the Crossing.
Every play is a play to bet on. Whether it's who scores next, a three-pointer, or a free throw, it could be the play that matters to you. So bet live at Unibet Sportsbook. Live betting options for every moment of the game. Sign up today and get $250 in risk-free bets. Download the app or visit in.unibet.com. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like B&W Plumbing and Heating? Well, find that American Standard dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Save $70 instantly on sets of Yokohama, Goodyear, and Continental tires with financing available at your locally owned and operated Big O Tires, the team you trust.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Well, you're going to have to say that. You're going to have to speak up because I can't hear you.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Greg Rakestraw, Sam Monson so far, podcast 107.5, thefan.com. Zach Pascal, the Colts wide receiver, is going to call in here in a couple of minutes, so we're going to talk about his 2-touchdown performance last weekend and where this Colts team is as of right now. We'll talk to Zach coming up here in, I think, under 10 minutes probably. We'll do that with Zach Pascal coming up here, too. JMV at 1070thefan.com is the email address. Got some time for calls before Zach calls in here, emails, tweets, and whatever the hell's going on inside the lounge. JMV, it's my belief that Eason was drafted with one idea in mind: backup QB to the next QB1. I'm going to say this, Rodney. I think they drafted him as a what the hell might as well. I mean, you always hear about the assets. You know, as a thrower, as an athlete, things like that. What the hell might as well. He's not somebody right now because you have this team that you feel should be going next level. He's not the guy to take you there, but maybe he is further down the road. The fact of the matter is you just haven't seen anything. You don't know. I mean, hell, nobody even knew, at least we didn't know anything about him coming out of Washington. So you sure as hell don't know anything right now. I think there is hope there, and we shall see. But the owner wants to win, and the owner wants to win right now. And the owner will want to win next year. And I don't know how in the world you're going to be able to prove any of that if you're Jacob Eason. Hypothetical, Rivers plays well down the stretch, and the Colts lose in the second. Well, they get to 2 games in the postseason. They win the first and then win, in the divisional round? Phillip wants to come back, but Carson Wentz and Philly are ready to deal and eat some contract. And only ask for a second-round pick in return. Frank is giddy. What do you think the scenario is? I still think that if they do that, if they win a game, let's say get to the divisional round, let's just say they're a wild card team, and they get to do a divisional round. Or if they win one and play another, if they play 2 postseason games, Rivers is back. And if Rivers isn't back, that means this final stretch of regular season and postseason didn't go well. But I think as of right now, Rivers is back. I think with the scenario that you present, Rivers is absolutely back. But again, I got to wait and see how things play out at the end of the year. Yeah, the whole Jacob Eason thing, you just don't know. And they want to win right now. Thank you, Rodney. I appreciate that. Hey, JMV, the Colts don't really win any tiebreakers with the rest of the teams in the hunt. Sunday is a must-win, I think, and so is next Sunday versus the Jaguars. What do you think, Cole? If you want to win the division or have a shot in the division, Sunday is absolutely a must-win. I would still suggest, with the way everything else is breaking around them, that you want to make sure you solidify. And I know that a lot of people disagree with my must-win status. But, yeah. I mean, there is zero margin for error going on right now. So the win division, it absolutely is. And then you got to hope that Green Bay does a little something to Tennessee on Sunday night. And I will say this. I can't be the only one that would be incredibly uncomfortable if the Colts, even beating Jacksonville at home in the final weekend of the season, of the regular season. I don't know if anybody really wants to be in that situation now, do you? No, I know they're easy, they're bad, and they already beat the Colts once. Yeah, I know their quarterback situation. I mean, every quarterback in the world that's ever played for Jacksonville's beaten the Colts. This is my philosophy. I would not want to go into that final regular season weekend, having to make sure that you win. That's thought. JMV, Pacers season is here. You finally have a starting five that's healthy for the first time in a couple of years. Hopefully the bench can play into its own and pick it up from what we've seen in 3 preseason games. Should be a decent year. I don't really know what to expect. I'm assuming you expect the same that what you got a year ago. Yeah, I hope it doesn't look anything like the 3 preseason games because they were knocking around more than they were any good. So I don't know. I just kind of expect the same thing, and we'll see what breaks around them, too. I'll be fully honest with you. I can't tell. I've watched these 3 games, and I know it's preseason games. I don't know what's good, what's going to be good, what's going to be better, what's not. It looks like the same dudes. I mean, because it is the same dudes. I wish I knew. I wish I had a better answer for you. I certainly hope that it's better. I don't know if I'm banking on that being better. I will say this. I mean, the expectation is, at least for that group that they have in there right now, I mean, you better play well. I mean, you got guys that have been around here long enough that have played at a higher level before that. I think at some point in time, these guys are all going to get on the same page. You get Sabonis back. We'll see how long it takes them to get back together. We'll see if T.J. Warren, once he's officially back, if T.J. Warren was more of a bubble standard as a scorer when he raised his game, or if that's something that will evolve, once they get back into playing and going on the road and things of that nature. I always kind of look back at this at the end of the season, obviously going into March shutdown. I mean, playing both Miles and Domas together is working. It was working as well as it had. And then, once they shut down the season and Domas did not reemerge with plantar fasciitis, and that's what you got. Yeah, I think like anybody else, I do question the bench. We'll see when Jeremy Lamb gets back, but it'd be disappointing. It'll be disappointing if they're not good. Especially knowing this, especially knowing that a lot of those guys wanted to really change up the coaching philosophy and got what they wanted. And now it's their time to put up and shut up. I mean, the blame has been cast, and it was obviously the blame has been placed on the old system, and this is a new system, and everybody is engaged and feeling good. Now it's going to be their time to put up or shut up. You can't just say, well, Nate's archaic offense or Nate this. I mean, that's going to be on you. Unless you just lay some blame on the new Nate here rather quickly. I just kind of look at their bench play and wonder if Goga to me doesn't look like I know he's, 20? Does Goga to you look like he's going to be anything?
You hope that he's not so lost on the defensive end.
He looks as lost as you would. I mean, he just looks lost.
You think hopefully this year, if he's going to click and he's going to turn around mentally, this would be the year.
And I'd give him the benefit of the doubt if you saw anything, but you never see anything. It's just...
He can shoot a little bit. He's a pretty good shooter from 3, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen anything yet, so I don't know if I'm just being pessimistic by recent Pacer draft selections or what. You'll have a lot of questions to answer. No doubt about that. All right. Sam Monson, Greg Rakestraw, earlier podcast, 1075thefan.com. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline right now, Colts wide receiver had 2 touchdowns this past weekend. Colts get the Steelers in Pittsburgh coming up on Sunday. Zach Pascal joins us now. Hey, Zach, thank you for the time. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
All right. What have you watched more of, the video of you blocking a week prior or 2 touchdowns this past weekend?
I also have to say the chip block.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that too, man. I got respect for that. That's pretty awesome. You know, in talking to you going way back, Zach, to a couple of years ago, you really pride yourself at that position to being one of the better blockers, again, at that position on the field, don't you?
Just trying to do my job each and every single play. I mean, that's just the mindset I'm attacking, and that me and my teammates are attacking the practice every day. Just every play, you do your assignment.
So Zach Pascal, the Colts with us. The Colts get the Steelers. That's coming up on Sunday. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. How long has it taken to get that full cohesion going right now with you and your quarterback?
I wouldn't say when we just started. I mean, we've been working on it since the summer, and it's just continuing to work at it every day. I mean, not just with me, but with all the receivers, and I mean, with all the pass catchers, the tight ends, and running backs. I mean, we have a lot of weapons. So, I mean, I think like 8 or 9 different receivers caught the ball Sunday. So, I mean, it's just us as a whole offense just getting the timing down. I mean, it's going pretty good.
You know, Zach, that's something else I wanted to bring up. Your offense spreads the ball around a great deal. I mean, that has to make everybody feel good that just around the corner your opportunity's coming.
Right. I mean, it just shows how many talented players that Chris and Frank has brought in, and how we're gelling together and using them the right way. And it's good to see.
So Zach Pascal with us. All right, who does the choreography on the end zone celebrations here? Who does
that? We all come up with it. We all think about it. I think the past couple of weeks we've been thinking about it. On like Fridays. We usually come up with it on Fridays or Saturdays and try them out, and then say, decide, we're gonna do that in the game. And it's fun when we do it. So I mean, it's a cool thing we got going.
Have you come up with anything yet?
I came up with the lean with it, rock with it when we played Houston. Was it Houston or was it Oakland? I think it was Oakland.
Yeah, it was the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders. I came with that one. See why I came up with the one I think from last week. So.
Well, I got to start giving you credit for coming up with that stuff, though. I listen, talking to Naheem, I'm just thinking you guys are doing that to keep him from doing flips in the end zone and stuff. Is that part of it?
No. I mean, coach allows us to show our personality, and it's fun, So we just go out there, continue to make plays, and have fun with it.
Zach Pascal's with us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Again, going back to a couple of years, I mean, you've worked to be a well-rounded wide receiver, worked at this craft. How gratifying is it for you right now to see all that you've worked for? I mean, really come together, knowing that there's still, that goal out there set for you and your teammates. But how gratifying has it been to see all this come together for you in the past couple of years?
I mean, it's been pretty cool. I mean, it just shows that the work that you put in can reflect on the outcome of your play. So just like how our coach always talks about putting the work in practice and it was showing the game, I mean, that just comes with the same thing as life. Every day you put in your couple of cents, or you got your thing that you work on, and you continue to grind, and when it starts to manifest, you're almost not surprised. You're almost kind of like I expected this, but you put in the work so hard and so much, and it's just good to see now, and everybody's putting in a great effort as a team.
Zach, it was a couple of years ago up at Grand Park, and we were having a conversation under the tent, really hot out there and stuff, and you were just talking about, modifying the craft that you have of special teams and, wanting to get that opportunity and get that shot and be one of those guys at that position. That's exactly what you've worked into, and that's kind of what I was thinking of right there, because for you it has been, attack every level, overcome, and then get to the next, which is exactly how you explained it to me that day in Westfield a couple of years ago.
Exactly. I mean, and just just loving the game as well, the compassion for the game, the compassion and love that you have for the game. For me, I just feel like, whatever position I need to play or whatever I need to do, if I'm out there, I'm going to have fun regardless, or just or have fun with it, in any way that I can. And that's just the love for the game and, continue to do so.
So, Zach Pascal with us, I would assume, and you can answer this, that this year, above all any others, with the pandemic and you guys basically locked down other than doing, your football stuff week after week, the importance of having great teammates in a great locker room is at the highest level of maybe what you've ever seen as far as participating in sports. Is that true this year, especially how much you lean on one another and your teammates in that locker room going through this?
I mean, yes. I mean, I could go on all day about our locker room, but I mean, our locker room, we just have a lot of guys who will do whatever it is to win. We have a lot of competitive guys. We have guys that will go out there and, do whatever it takes to win the game for their team. And we all lean on each other when someone's hurting. We all pick each other up. And we just got a great thing going in that locker room, so we just got to continue to go.
All right, Zach, let's hear some dialogue. How much dialogue have you had on the field with Phillip Rivers? Anything stand out to you? And how is he as a leader at quarterback there?
He's a great leader. I mean, just to have a quarterback who can put your offense in a great position, accurate. He's so accurate. I mean, a lot of the passes that I get is not either it's him in the offensive line. He's an accurate quarterback, and he just gets us into the right play each and every time. We could be running the play one way, he will switch us over to another play. He's always talking, getting his guys lined up, and it's good to see.
When he throws those passes, you talk about the accuracy. When he throws those, it's almost like that he's ahead of the game right there. You know what I mean? I mean, he's reading you, has a sense of where you're going, and throws it where it's best for you, and obviously not accurate for those trying to defend you. I mean, I know that comes with a great deal of playing time and 18, 19 years in the NFL, but man, there's a lot of talent involved there too.
Most definitely. I mean, that's just him being a vet and knowing where guys are supposed to be in the spots, and I have to do my job and get to that spot just like how he wanted. And from there, I get the ball. If not, somebody's open. So it's just good to see.
Zach Pascal, a couple of touchdowns last weekend, man. How were you feeling coming off of that? We were talking about the chip block, and I'm sure you watched that a bunch, but last week was a hell of a weekend for you.
Oh, yeah, man. I was talking to my mom and my girlfriend. I was telling them, I was just like, this past weekend was top 5 in my life. I mean, just from, just having a birthday and then being a captain for the week and giving the speeches and then having the game and then, it was just a solid weekend for me, and I really enjoyed it.
Man, that makes me feel good. That's awesome. You had a birthday, gave a speech to your teammates, led by example on the field. That's a hell of a week right there, man. It really is.
That was a good weekend.
Oh, it is. Hey, let us in a little bit. What kind of speech did you give? A little motivational action in that locker room?
Well, I just told the guys. I was talking to the guys, and we was just talking about having a dog mentality, and like how I was explaining to you earlier, just letting them know it's around this time of the year, coming down the last stretch of the games. A lot of teams could just start getting lazy on their daily routine or come into practice with just going through the motions. And I was just basically telling them, just have that dog mentality and continue to be a dog in your circle. And that was just the theme of the week. Be a dog in your circle and control your circle. And if each of us do that, then we can go far.
That's a great theme because there's no margin for error going on in this AFC right now. Do you allow yourself to look at the standings and the playoff possibilities going into this weekend?
Well, I think we take it 1 week at a time. I don't think, we make games any bigger or looking at the standings to make games any bigger. I think we just take it one week at a time. Whatever team that's lined up in front of us, that's who we're attacking. That's who we're trying to, go out there and get a W. We want to go 1-0, and that's the mentality that we got to do because we can't afford to lose now. So we just got to continue that mentality and keep going.
Did you watch Pittsburgh and Cincinnati last night? Little film work watching Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I'm about to continue watching it today.
Yeah, it's something. I'm telling you. You look up and down the AFC right now, and normally you feel good about getting to 10 wins and things like that. But as we talked about, there's no margin for error for basically everybody out there in the AFC right now.
You're right, and that's why we just got to continue to focus on our team and continue to grind it out every day.
All right. Well, I know you got Christmas coming up this week. Is it still locked down? Is it going to be a virtual Christmas for you?
Yeah, it's going to be a virtual Christmas for me.
Well, hey, listen, I'm really happy for you because we had a long conversation a couple of years ago, and to where you were then to where you are now is exactly where you wanted to be, and the work ethic you've shown is ideal for a lot of folks, and I'm really happy for you, Zach. Congratulations on everything, and have a great Christmas, and go out there and have some fun in Pittsburgh coming up on Sunday.
Thank you so much, man. Merry Christmas to you as well.
Right back at you. Zach Pascal of the Colts on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. It was 2 years ago, and I was talking to him. He didn't really know if he was going to make the team, if you remember that conversation. And he said, I got to stand out on special teams. And not only has he stood out on special teams, but he's worked his way up, and that is a prime example of just that. Zach Pascal via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Quick break, and we'll come back. We got a lot more for you coming up today. Kevin Bowen is going to join us coming. Check that. I'm sorry. This is Tuesday, not Wednesday. We got a lot more for you, including Pittsburgh and Cincinnati coming up last night. We'll dive back into that. You got Purdue and Iowa coming up later on tonight. Yeah, Bowen and the Wednesday shows coming up tomorrow. Now, we are condensing a week, because we're down to 3 days as opposed to 5 during this week, but it'll still be fantastic. All you need to know about the Colts, the start of the NBA season, the Pacers, and more coming up on the other side. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Another reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo. What is a cash-out refinance? It's doing a cannonball from your porch.
Watch out!
That new car smell. A new college graduate in the family.
With a BA in business and a minor in medieval Renaissance poetry.
Reading the words, paid in full.
Woo-hoo! Did it!
At Golden Oak Lending, we speak mortgage and love translating it for our customers. Right now, rates are at a low 2.5%. Call 317-706-GOLD or visit us online at goldenoaklending.com and talk with an experienced local loan officer who will guide you every step of the way. NMLS 114937, 2.5% fixed, 2.655% APR on a conventional 15-year mortgage with 30% equity and approved credit.
John here, make Christmas awesome for her. Guys, you can make it happen with Diamonds Direct. Right now, Diamonds Direct is offering 4-year, 0-interest financing on any holiday gift. So pick any item. Spread your payments over 4 years without paying a dime in interest. Let's say this. I'm not good at math. See if I can figure this out. $8,000, a pair of diamond studs, maybe a diamond tennis bracelet, just $167 per month. Yeah, make this thing big. And we're talking about everything. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, colored gemstone jewelry, designer jewelry. Not going to believe everything. Already with the existing incredible price, but 4 years, 0 interest. And right now, too, if you want to upgrade that ring that she's wearing, you can do that, too. Great deal going on before Christmas at Diamonds Direct. 4 years, 0 interest. Video chat, online shopping, curbside pickup, and know that inside Diamonds Direct, everything is clean and safe just for you in their showroom. Let's close out 2020 on a high note here. 4 year, 0 interest financing. Diamonds Direct. DiamondsDirect.com today. That's Keystone at the Crossing.
Names aren't given, they're earned. 86 years ago, William Hill earned his by betting on himself. Today, William Hill has the most sports books in America. And now, they're here in Indiana. Sign up for the William Hill mobile app and get up to a $500 free bet on deposit. Use promo code RADIO500. Must be physically present in Indiana. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Let's make it interesting with William Hill Sportsbook.
Baptist Heating and Air wants to thank you for your business this last year and asks you to remember Jesus, our Savior, during the Christmas holiday and have a blessed and happy New Year. If you think that we can be a help keeping your family comfortable, don't hesitate to call us at 317-782-1900.
For all your heating and cooling needs throughout the year, call Baptist Heating and Air at 317-782-1900. Baptist is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
This is Jerome Bettis, and I want to introduce you to my friends at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Bet Rivers is the #1 sportsbook across the way in Illinois and the trusted partner of French Lick Casino here in Indiana. Bet Rivers truly cares about your satisfaction and works hard to deliver a sports betting experience second to none. Make your next bet with the trusted team at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Go to betrivers.com and bet with the winner.
Must be 21 or over to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448. Playable only in Indiana.
Sports with Dan Dakich.
Trey Burton, what's it like the day after winning a Super Bowl?
I mean, if you stay up really late that night, you're hurting a little bit. You got family. I mean, you just got everybody reaching out. I'll never forget, man, like the Super Bowl was awesome, but the parade was probably my favorite part. Even when we came back from Minnesota, I mean, our plane landed, and man, there's thousands and thousands of people, on the whole entire trip from the airport back to the facility just to get into our cars to go home.
Dan Dakich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
That's on me. That's all me right here, everybody. Boom. You know what happened there? We got locked up and nothing wanted to do anything right there. Thank you very much, everybody. Well, we're still locked up right there. That's probably not good. Imagine if that... I don't want to get into it. You know how bad my luck has been, right? So I'm not counting it. It was working just fine 5 seconds right before we started here. Zach Pascal was really good. Hope you heard it. If you didn't, you missed any of it, podcast 1075thefan.com. Hey, turn me back up over there and see if I'm working. Oh, we're working now, aren't we? See what you missed out on. Mike Wells is feeling good about this one right there. JMV, the absence of Dan Burke from the coaching staff will be a big difference, at least bigger than most realize. Defense will regress. We'll see. Jim McCann, Southern California, only 9 days until the JMV takeover New Year's Eve spectacular. We're going to party like Lionel Richie all night long. Yeah, I don't exactly know, but I'm thinking I'm going to go past midnight. Kind of have to go past midnight, I think. Hey, JMV, I think Zach Pascal has a lot of talent, potential to be really good. I think the talent that he has, he's been really good about transforming that into being certainly a very useful member of that team in a variety of ways. And as it all started, it was special teams. If you remember a couple of years ago, we thought they were going to keep that extra wide receiver because Zach was good at special teams. A couple of touchdowns this past Sunday, and that is good to see right there. Hey, JMV, I heard your theory regarding Rivers in the offseason. Do you think anything derails that theory? I'm just going to reserve the right to evaluate it once the season is over. So, is there a scenario where the Colts have to win out?
Yes.
So they need the Dolphins. They need the Dolphins to lose to Buffalo, right? And they play Buffalo in the final week of the season.
So if the Ravens win out, they play the Giants and the Bengals to close out the year. And the Dolphins win out, they play the Raiders and the Bills to close out the year. If both those teams win out, the Colts have to win out to make the playoffs.
So somebody asked me if it was a must-win situation a little bit earlier. I mean, you look at the football that's going on in the AFC, then there's just zero margin for error. You need to win. You don't have to count on anybody else. Now, there are scenarios where they went out, Tennessee loses in Green Bay coming up on Sunday night, where they end up winning the division, right?
They could climb all the way to the 3 seed, or they could miss the playoffs.
That's incredible.
Any range of that.
That is absolutely incredible. Hey, listen, I say must win all the time, and we all joke about it. It's certainly a punchline, but it'd be a good thing if they just won out. And you wonder, the Dolphins get the Bills in the final week of the season.
At Buffalo.
Are the Bills doing anything? Is there a reason? I mean, will they sit? Because they're done, right? I mean, they're going to win. They lock up what are they locking up to 2 in the AFC?
I think if they win this weekend against New England, they lock in the 2 seed because they have the tiebreaker versus Pittsburgh.
So there may be a point to where they're just kind of jacking around against the Dolphins.
There could be, yeah.
Now, again, I'm not a big fan of jacking around. Jacking around doesn't get you prepared to win a postseason game, at least, and we have seen that before here. But this is this is going to get even more interesting. Really interesting. JMV, I have a feeling that 11-5 isn't going to make the postseason. That's insane. Man, it just sucks you have to count on other teams losing. Yeah.
So, beginning of the year, you thought the Colts would go 10-6 and make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
If they go 11-5 and miss the playoffs, will you say it's a failure of a year? Because beginning of the year, you said they have to make the playoffs.
I think that there will be, if they don't make the postseason, that's going to be viewed as a failure. They just will be.
Man, 11-5.
I know.
I mean, they haven't gone 11. When's the last time the Colts went 11-5? Was it 2014?
What did they? What 2 years? What did they finish 2 years ago? 10-6. Probably 2014 then. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to look back on that, but still. I mean, if you're Chris and if you're Frank and you're 1 of 4 and 1 of 3 respectively in postseasons around here, that's not going to sit well with anybody, no matter what the record is. I guess it's a good thing they're adding an extra playoff position.
Yeah, if they didn't have that extra playoff, you would have to have Green Bay beat Tennessee because you don't have any tiebreakers against any of those other wildcard teams.
Here's the one thing. If something were to happen and derail a postseason appearance, and the next time I say it's a must-win in week 1, you guys all better abide. Because if that thing comes back and haunts, I do not on any level want to have to tell you I told you so on this. And we all have a good joke about it. But if that thing rears its ugly head again for whatever reason, that stupid week 1 Jacksonville crap fest, that'll be ugly. And then you think about this. When you think about a team that survived on a couple of fumbles, won an errant snap by the center, the other just a straight fumble when you're about ready to score, and to me, logically going for 2. You got down 21 to the Bengals here in the first half. You know, that was something. The Steelers got down, 17 to the Bengals last night, and the Steelers were not able to get over that hump.
According to ESPN, they ran 20,000 simulations, and 632 times out of those 20,000, the Colts missed the playoffs at 11-5. They have a 3.2% chance to miss the playoffs right now.
I mean, I guess you like those odds, but
when you read it out loud,
when you talk about it out loud, not knowing what Buffalo may do in that final game,
it makes it a lot more scary.
Yeah, it does. I mean, think about Baltimore. Baltimore, how much better would you have felt had Baltimore lost that Monday nighter in Cleveland when Lamar Jackson came out of the crapper to win it?
When the Ravens, they blew that game to Tennessee earlier in the year. Remember they had it?
Yep.
And then they lost in overtime.
They did. Oh, they did.
They blew that game.
Yep. Man. But then, I mean, the Colts have probably dodged more than anybody because the Houston had as good an opportunity to sweep the Colts as you're going to have. I mean, even down so many players. It's amazing. JMV, if the Colts didn't lose that must-win game against Jacksonville in Week 1, we probably wouldn't have to worry about not making the postseason. One pump. We tried to tell everybody now, didn't we? I hope that I don't have to do that. I hope that I don't have to do that. JMV at 1070thefan.com is the email address. Hey, JMV, TJ Warren, I know he's been out with plantar fasciitis, and he had that at the end of the bubble season down in Orlando. Is he going to be good to go coming up tomorrow night for their opener? They are listing him, I believe, as questionable against the Knicks. There's an expectation from what you hear that he's going to give it a go, but as of right now, he's questionable. And one more thing, JMV. Do you think that TJ Warren is going to be as good as what we saw him being in that regular season close down in the bubble? We'll see. And I've been noted as saying this, and people think it sounds like a slap, and it's not. But I kind of look, and you wonder about some guys like TJ Warren is one guy. You wonder if there was not a benefit with certainly the lack of a lot of defense down there, which blew up the TJ Warren numbers. And I said that about the Heat, and the Heat went all the way to the NBA Finals. I still say that the Heat took full advantage, and good for them, of that bubble situation. I don't know. I expect him to put up really good numbers, but numbers like that? Like I said, these are on the players now. I mean, the players are all, wanting for the most part a change in philosophy for coaching, and you got that. Now it's going to be these guys to do something about it. Starts coming up tomorrow night. JMV, just to clarify, the Packers beat the Titans. The Colts are pretty much good to go. What if the Colts lose this weekend or the Titans lose this weekend?
If the Colts lose this weekend.
But then the Titans still hold the tie break in the division. So, no, I mean, the Colts are still hanging in the balance if they both lose.
The Titans would have to lose to Houston week 17.
Right.
For the Colts to sneak in. And the Colts
So they're still hanging in the balance, Tyler. Hey, JMV, let's all just say the Colts division games are must-wins no matter where they fall on the schedule. Hey, listen, I've been preaching that for years and nobody's listened to me. I appreciate that, too. I do appreciate that. Ari tells me that there's no scenario where the Colts lose and the Bills can rest players against the Dolphins. So the Bills are still playing something even though they win the division. They're still playing for seeding in that final week of the season.
But I think because they hold the tiebreaker over the Steelers because they beat them. So even if they end in a tie, they're currently one game up on the Steelers.
I guess that's provided some may think that the Raiders beat the Dolphins because the Raiders have the Dolphins this
well,
weekend.
If the Raiders
right?
beat the Dolphins, the
Right.
Colts, if the Colts can go 1-1 still.
We're just talking about going into the final weekend of the season. If, the Colts need the Dolphins to lose, for example. Is there a scenario where the Colts need the Dolphins to absolutely lose? I mean, if the Colts win out, they're okay.
If the Colts win out, they're in no matter what.
All right. Well, I brought up the scenario of the Dolphins, the Bills, I should say, resting players in the final weekend of the season. Now, could that be? I'll tell you what, I would advise you this. If you look at this whole breakdown of the playoff scenarios, it's like stinking calculus here. I mean, it is deep. That's amazing.
Oh, one quick thing here, actually. Ari was right. So the Bills and the Steelers are tied right now in the standings. So if they both win, say the Steelers beat the Colts this weekend and the Bills beat New England, then the Bills they will be playing for seeding in that final week.
The Bills likely will be playing for something in that final week.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so we're right other than that. It's crazy. It is. All right, quick break, and we'll come back for the final time. Rakestraw, Monson, Zach Pascal podcast, 107.5, thefan.com. We'll go over a lot more of those scenarios coming up tomorrow.
Kids, tell your parents about Form's Sprout of the Month contest where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com.
Every game has 1,000 storylines. So if you've got an angle, a hunch, or some info you got from that guy in 10 fantasy leagues across the street, Unibet's got that bet. Unibet Sportsbook has all the bets you need for every game. Sign up today and get $30 to bet with. No deposit required. Download the app or visit in.unibet.com. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, Love Heating and Air Conditioning, 317-353-2141, love-hvac.com. John and Chris Love, keeping you comfortable in that wintertime. How's your heating unit running right now? Is it keeping you warm? Is it costing you money? I mean, can you tell? Oftentimes, the old hand test just doesn't get it done. You have to figure out the efficiency by calling in a genius. One of the techs from Love Heating and Air Conditioning can get the job done for you, making sure that your heating unit is not costing you money. Or 317-353-2141, the state-of-the-art breathable air in your home. It's called iWave. It's a difference maker at a great price right now. And Love Heating and Air Conditioning has partnered up with iWave to give you that opportunity. That number, tell them I sent you, 317-353-2141. Love Heating and Air Conditioning online, love-hvac.com today.
You're at home, and you could use a sub sandwich. But most places you go will serve up a sandwich made with cold meat, cold veggies, and little to no effort. You may as well make one of those yourself. Or you could order a Penn Station sub stuffed with grilled meat and melty cheese. Then pair it with fresh cut fries and a just squeezed lemonade. Good luck making any of that yourself. Order Penn Station in-store, online, or find them on DoorDash and Grubhub. Happy not sandwich making.
Andy Moore Buick GMC Fishers, that's 131 of State Road 37. Did you know that you could ride around in a 2020 GMC Acadia at a great price with great deals from my friend Eric Wilson right now? We're talking about $10,000 off of MSRP, $5,500 in GMC consumer cash, and you can lease one for $289 per month, zero down payment right now. Ask for Eric Wilson and let Eric and the staff go to work for you. I know oftentimes you think there's no way in this world you can get a car deal, a great one this time of year, but now, at the best you can, that's Andy Moore Buick GMC. Ask for Eric Wilson and have them go to work on a great deal for you. It's Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. You'll find a massive number of basketball betting options, bet point spreads, money lines, and game totals directly from your mobile device. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we pay fast. We pride ourselves on our quick and easy payouts. Sign up now. We'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, more action, more fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Hello, this is Greg Bassett.
This is Jeff Bassett. From our family to yours, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We've been serving Central Indiana since 1978, and your family is like our family.
We're here to take care of you through this holiday season.
For all your furnace and air quality needs, give us a call or visit us at BassettServices.com.
Bassett Services is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Baby, it's cold. Baby, it's cold outside.
The Pacers host the Knicks in the regular season opener tomorrow evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I got nowhere else to go.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
First time I remember to play this on Tuesday in a long time. Well, Tuesday's gone right there for you from Skinner and everybody. At JMV 1070, the playoff scenario calculus, the Colts could finish as high as the second seed and then all the way down to the 8th and out of the postseason. Perfectly not confusing at all. That's pretty crazy. Seriously, I think that there's a playoff tracker or a playoff machine or something. We can go screw around with that if you want. But it's crazy. It is. It is absolutely crazy. Just better off if you go out and win and not have to worry about it. As we talked to Zach Pascal about that very thing a little bit earlier. Podcast for the Colts wide receiver, 1075thefan.com. JMV, you think the Boilermakers have a shot against Iowa later on tonight? Iowa is a pretty good team. Iowa can shoot it. Iowa struggled guarding Gonzaga on Saturday. To me, Gonzaga is clearly the best team in the country. Most talent, most depth. Doesn't mean they're going to win it all, but I think this is their best opportunity to win it all. And remember a couple of years ago, they went to the national championship game and lost to Carolina. But Iowa struggled guarding Gonzaga and really struggled with Jalen Suggs. Yeah, see, I thought Gonzaga was good a year ago. A year ago that, not Drew Timme, who's on it this year, but Tilly, I think, was the big French guy, 6'10", was injured like every other game. And then he bailed to play professionally, and they're stacked. Iowa is a good basketball team for sure. And it's going to be a tough one for the Boilers tonight. Hey, JMV, I think Will Hunting would have a hard time figuring out the playoff scenarios. Hey, listen, I will say this. I mean, this is the most entertaining it's been down the stretch, at least with playoff scenarios forever, because somebody really good is going to miss this thing. Somebody that's had a good season is going to miss this thing. And that's definitely going to be difficult to deal with. But, yeah, you look at all these situations, it's pretty crazy. Hey, JMV, please explain the hopes of a zone secondary where they stay 5 yards from every receiver till he catches the ball. A little bend but don't break action right there, I guess. I mean, making sure you don't get big plays lodged up against you. Many believe it's just prolonging the agony. JMV, I completely agree with you regarding the Steelers last night. It's one thing to go as they've been going for the last month here, but it's been such a long time since the Colts had any luck and any good fortune against the Steelers. It's going to be one of those things where I got to believe it to see it. So Jay Michael just put this out there. The Pacers picked up the 4th-year option on Aaron Holiday and the 3rd-year option on Goga Batadze. And as Jay Michael put it, both of those moves were expected. Pacers open up play coming up tomorrow night against the Knicks at home. And the NBA season officially is underway coming up later on tonight. There's a ton going on here. The Gasparilla Bowl eliminated because two win and fired his coach during the season. South Carolina decided not to go. So UAB, I think the Conference USA champion, is left without a matchup. The Gasparilla Bowl, everybody, right there. Hey, Ari writes this, JMV, if the Colts go 2-0 and the Titans go 2-0, they will play the Titans in the 4-5 game in Nashville. See, that's what Ari mentioned. He's on that machine. There's a machine where you can go and just enter in all these different scenarios. Again, better off if you just win these final 2 games and not have to worry about any of this other crap going on. I think it turns out better that they added these playoff teams this year.
I think it makes it more interesting. I like it.
So I haven't even looked at the NFC. What's the NFC look like compared to the AFC?
Well, they're going to have an NFC East team in there, so it kind of throws a wrench in everything. But those wild card teams in the NFC aren't nearly as good. I mean, Tampa Bay has had flaws. Seattle has had flaws. The Rams, obviously, we just saw them lose to the Jets.
Yeah.
Arizona's had flaws, so not nearly as good as the AFC this year.
I guess people are just going to continue not to believe into the Dolphins until they punch their way through. I think logically speaking, most people believe that the Dolphins will end up being that odd team out in the AFC, but again, we'll see. Yeah, check out the playoff machine and mess around with that thing a little bit. It's a well, I don't want to say it's a blast. It'll fry your brain a little bit. I'll say that. If the Colts go 2-0 and the Steelers go 0-2, the Colts are the 3 seed and play Baltimore. If Baltimore loses a game, they play the Titans unless the Dolphins go 2-0. Then they play the Dolphins. I love this. Ari, man. Ari's all over it. If the Colts go 1-1 and get in, they'll be the 7 seed playing in Pittsburgh. If they go 2-0, the Steelers go 0-2. Then the Colts play in the 4-5 game at home against the Steelers. Ari's on fire. You guys got to go. Check this out. Look at Ari. Ari's messages inside the lounge on YouTube Live. This is outstanding work right here. Now, all I'm doing is reading them, too. That's great. I love these scenarios, though. JMV, yes, the NFC is packed and deserving team gets in the NFC because the East team doesn't. Yeah, I'm telling you, it is packed. Shout out to Ari for doing the playoff machine right there. That's incredibly outstanding. All right, back in studio for the final time this week coming up tomorrow. Kevin Bowen's going to join me tomorrow. We got Bob Lovell on the show coming up tomorrow and a lot more for you. Get you set for all the sports in and around Christmas and then certainly the weekend that has the Colts going to Pittsburgh. JMV, I didn't like that they added playoff teams, but the Colts would be missing out if not, it seems. The Colts would be in absolute, positively must-win mode. Even more of a must-win mode than they're in right now. So, yes, I guess everybody's thankful for that right now. Sam Monson, Greg Rakestraw, Zach Pascal of the Colts podcast. 1075thefan.com. Shout out to everybody participating. You guys in the lounge were awesome today. Thank you for going over all of our endless playoffs and the AFC scenarios here. Absolutely outstanding. All right, we'll talk a little Pacers Knicks coming up tomorrow and a lot more for you. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan. Have a great night.
Jonathan Taylor.
The Colts take one step closer to the postseason.
He fumbled the ball. Who's got the football? The Colts have it. It's a touchdown.
Up next, the AFC North leading Pittsburgh Steelers. They've lost 3 in a row.
They play like this, it's unacceptable.
Let's try to make it 4. Our coverage starts Sunday morning at 10. Matt Taylor with the call at 1 o'clock.
And he's in. Zach Pascal.
On your home for Colts football.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Gifts of passion, gifts of romance, gifts for the one you love. At Lover's Lane, shopping for the holidays has never been more fun. Let our romance specialists take you on a journey through our exciting games for couples to massage oils and intimate bedroom essentials. Check out Lover's Lane most seductive styles of lingerie that will make you want to stay home for the holidays. Give them what they really want. Gifts from Lover's Lane.
BetMGM makes Christmas Day with the NBA even more fun with a special offer for new customers. Sign up today for a chance to win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on any Christmas Day NBA game and a three-pointer is scored in any of the games played that day. Just use bonus code TalentCode100 when you make your first bet to take advantage of this offer. Give yourself the gift of signing up with the king of sportsbooks and discover BetMGM's innovative parlay selection features, boosted odds specials, daily promotions, and much more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code TalentCode100 to win $100 in free bets if a three-pointer is scored in any NBA game on Christmas Day. BetMGM is the place to bet with confidence on NBA action. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years or older to wager. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Bowling, 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 keep them balls a-rolling. Bowling, bowling, bowling.
Royal Pin. Royal Pin Entertainment offers fun for the entire family, and bowling is even more fun during the cold weather. Royal Pin Entertainment takes reservations at royalpin.com, so there are no long lines, and bowling can be enjoyed by the entire family. And on Sundays, kids bowl free until 1 in the afternoon. Everyone can become an Open Lane Rewards member just by downloading the Open Lane app and earning money-saving discounts. Bowling's fun and affordable, too. Monday's draft beer's just $3 each on all brands. So gather your crew and join in at one of the Royal Pin Entertainment modern locations. To check out specials, go to royalpin.com or download the app. Get ready to roll at Royal Pin Entertainment.
Royal Pin, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin, bowling.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Save $70 instantly on sets of Yokohama, Goodyear, and Continental tires with financing available at your locally owned and operated Big O Tires, the team you trust.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Hey, I am off tomorrow, but Kevin Bowen has you covered. He's got Michael Grady, he's got Mike Wells, and he's got Lavelle Jordan waiting and ready to entertain. Join KB tomorrow.
This is the Colts Daily Update, a look at the latest with the Indianapolis Colts. Now, here's the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, from the Power Home Solar Radio Studio.
This is the Colts Daily Update tonight here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Shout out, if I can, to my daughter who turns the big 4 today. Molly having a big birthday bash at home tonight with just mom and dad. So happy birthday to her on this December the 22nd, just a few days before Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Coming up at the top of the hour tonight, it's Trackside with Kurt Cavan and Kevin Lee. Instant Replay follows us tonight when we're done talking Colts. And by the way, this is the only Colts Daily Update this week. Things are a little bit different this week and next week because of the holidays. We'll have the Colts Happy Hour for you tomorrow night from 5:30 to 6:30 with JMV. Normally that's on Fridays, but obviously that's getting bumped up due to Christmas Day on Friday. So a lot to get into tonight. Coming up, we're going to hear from head coach Frank Reich in segment 2, but we start off with the Pro Bowl announcements. The Pro Bowl rosters were announced last night, and a trio of Colts players were named to the AFC All-Star team: linebacker Darius Leonard, guard Quentin Nelson, and center Ryan Kelly. And 3 is a great number, and you're happy for those guys, but the Colts arguably had a handful of players snubbed. At the top of that list are DeForest Buckner and George Odom. We'll talk about those guys in just a bit, but first, the guys who actually made the team. Darius Leonard makes the Pro Bowl for the second straight year. He ranks 11th in total tackles this season despite missing 2 games, and his 9.1 tackles per game puts him 6th overall and 2nd in the AFC behind only Houston's Zach Cunningham. And Leonard's off to an amazing start to his career. In his first 3 seasons, he's averaged more tackles per game than any other player in NFL history at just over 9.8. And since entering the NFL in 2018, he ranks in the top 10 among linebackers in total tackles, solo tackles, passes defensed, picks, and forced fumbles. Quentin Nelson makes the Pro Bowl for the 3rd straight season, joining Andrew Luck and Alan Amici as the only players in club history to earn Pro Bowl honors in their first 3 seasons. He also becomes the first offensive lineman in the NFL to do it since Zach Martin, and is the first Colts player to be selected to 3 consecutive Pro Bowls since T.Y. Hilton. He did that back in 2014 to 17. And then with Ryan Kelly, he makes the Pro Bowl for the 2nd straight year. He's one of the best centers in the game, as we all know. He's allowed only 2 sacks, 11 quarterback pressures all season. That's tied for the 5th fewest among NFL centers, according to Pro Football Focus. And by the way, with Kelly and Nelson each making the Pro Bowl in consecutive seasons, they become the first Colts offensive line